Hello guys, thank you for coming back. I was really wild. Playing original songs was not the best move. Of course, I was expecting to be kicked out. But let's see. In this new streaming, what is gonna it's gonna happen? Of course, I'm just gonna play some covers. Let's see if I can find some good covers. Let's say. Streets of Bakersfield. I went to a Harry Styles concert with my daughters, and everyone just stood there. I miss Rage Against the Machine concerts. Oh, that's something, huh? Look, the 90s, the best decade or decade. I don't know what's the pronunciation in English, especially when I have a couple of gin tonics on me. But anyways, Rage Against the Machine was the best. What was the name? De La Roca, the singer. Anyways, don't dox me. Mucho gusto. El gusto es mío. Yeah. So let's try some good cover, let's say. I'm gonna go for. I love this song. This is a cover from Depeche Mode. It's called Photographic. I really love this song. Cover. Let's go with this. The band is Nerd Revolt. The original song is from Depeche Mode. The song is photographic. I really love it. So let's do it.
Oh, white house, oh, white room, the program of today. Lights on, switch on, your eyes are far away. The map represents you and the tape is your voice. Follow all along you till you recognize the choice. I take pictures, photographic pictures, bright light, dark room, bright light, dark room. I said I'd write a letter, but I never got the time. And I'm looking to the day I mesmerized with lines. 2 years I spent just thinking of a moment we both knew. A second past like an empty room. Seems it can't be true. I take pictures, photographic pictures, bright light, dark room, bright light, dark room. I take pictures, photographic pictures, bright light, dark room, 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 bright light, dark room.
So that was Nerd Revolt. That was a cover from Depeche Mode, photographic. I'm gonna try to cheat YouTube to avoid to avoid the same strike I had a couple of minutes ago. So I'm gonna play a video I made. Actually, this is an old video I made a couple of years ago, but I unloaded it again today. So I'm not one to kill the mood, but it's just to try to cheat YouTube to avoid strikes. So this is about the signatures, and Delphi is gonna take 4 minutes, and then we come back to the music, guys.
The killer left a signature, at least one, maybe even a few.
Was there a signature in this crime? Like, would you characterize something as a signature?
I would say there were 2 or 3 things. I'd say at least 3.
Do you think those signature items would still exist?
I think potentially that 1 or 2 of those things could pop up again, yes.
But the offender will tend to repeat the signature behaviors because that's why he's committing the crime in the first place. Signature behavior is behavior that the offender engages in at a crime scene that is over and beyond what is necessary to complete the crime. And it generally is behavior that is satisfying to the offender, whether it's psychologically satisfying or sexually satisfying behavior. The interesting thing about signature behavior, especially if you're talking about a series of crimes, is that the offender will generally attempt to repeat the signature behavior, not the MO, the modus operandi. That's something different.
I'm curious, from your research and your expertise, is it common to have multiple signatures? Is that normal?
Well, it's certainly possible to have multiple signatures at a crime scene. Again, if we go back to the definition, it is unnecessary behavior at a crime scene. Generally, when you have multiple signatures, it's because you have a series of crimes. And so at this point, what we have is a double homicide. Whether or not there are other crimes out there, it's still unclear. But if there's behavior at that scene that is not necessary to the crime itself, so it could be sexual behavior, it could be postmortem activity. But if there are signature behaviors, yes, you can have more than 1 or 2 signature behaviors.
Are signatures typically things that happen after the murder, or is there a typical time that the signature would happen?
In my experience, signature can happen at any point before or during or after the crime. So, for example, predatory behavior in some crimes can be a signature. Postmortem mutilation after the murders can also be a signature. So it could occur anywhere within that temporal time frame of the crime.
In our chat with the prosecutor, he described it as odd. And he also said that there was a lot of physical evidence. And I know that that's kind of a broad term, but I'm curious from your standpoint, as somebody who's been to, hundreds of these kinds of scenes, what does a lot of physical evidence mean? What does odd mean?
So I wouldn't know what his definition of odd is. Odd to me and odd to this prosecutor can be 2 different things. So let me give you a few ideas of what maybe odd behaviors might be. It could be, again, postmortem mutilation, what's done to the victims after they've died, after they've been murdered. It could include redressing the victims. It could include dismemberment. It could include insertion of foreign objects. It could be the placement and the replacement of the victims' bodies. So it could be any along that continuum. It basically could be almost anything. It could be the infliction of damage to the victims, both before death or after death. It could be, again, engaging with victims in a certain way that is considered odd. So it could be a wide variety of behaviors.
So that was just to cheat YouTube. I think we have Streets of Bakersfield here for the first time. How are you, Streets?
Good. How are you? Can you hear me?
Perfectly. How are you?
Living the dream, one nightmare at a time.
Thank you for calling.
I figured I'd stop in and say hi. I've never come in on your show before.
Ah, so cool that you're calling tonight. Do you have a channel or
No, I used to go on
no?
with Case by Case, but I've also been around since the beginning. I was talking to someone in a private chat the other day. I was like, I've been at this for almost a decade now. It's
Wow,
too
cool.
much.
Why don't you start a channel? Let's say.
Just because I don't really have the time to like do it consistently. So, I mean, I guess I could, but then I'd have to like beg for subscribers so that I could go live. I don't know. I guess I should.
You
Or
should.
I,
Why not?
maybe.
We're gonna promote your channel here for sure.
I've actually not been working since like July because of school, and I wasn't going to start working until the beginning of the year, but I just signed an offer letter yesterday and
Ah,
like
really?
did the drug test well, kind of did the drug test today. So,
Did you pass the drug test or not?
yeah, but I mean, I shouldn't. I'm not gonna say it, but yeah, I passed. There were measures taken, but yes, I passed it because
Cool.
I ate a gummy like a month ago. So I was drinking water and taking Golden Seal and doing all this stuff, but it was fine. I was fine. So
Yeah.
I was gonna eat gum.
Congratulations.
I'm so glad because I was gonna eat a gummy the other night, and I was like, no, I'm just not in the mood, and I was so glad that I did it.
Nice. Congratulations. That's so cool.
Thank
So you
you.
are from Los Angeles, right?
Yes, I was born in San Diego and I grew like lived there most of my childhood, but I moved to LA when I was like 15 and then I've been here ever since. I mean, I've moved a couple times, but you always go home. So
Do you prefer San Diego or Los Angeles?
So it was really cool growing up on the beach in San Diego. Like it's a dream. I mean, besides the foster care and the abuse and all the horrific bullshit, like growing up on the beach in San Diego is a dream. But like I don't know anyone down there anymore. Like I don't have a connection. Like everybody's here. So I like going down there, but to visit, but I wouldn't live there again. And
Wow. I love
one of the things about being from Los Angeles that's hard is when you move other places and you get homesick, you can't watch TV or watch movies because everything is filmed here. So like the neighborhood that they're filming in. You know what I mean? Like the show Malcolm in the Middle, they filmed that in the neighborhood behind my parents' house. So like when I was living in Oklahoma and I was homesick, I couldn't watch Malcolm in the Middle because I was like, that's my next door neighbor's house. so,
uh,
so yeah, it's hard to
that's yeah,
once
go
you've
ahead.
once you've grown attached to being here, like it's hard to be anywhere else.
Yeah, for sure. I love California. I love the weather. I
Yeah.
love that area. It's awesome. I know California, but mistake because I was supposed to go to Disney World and I bought tickets for Disneyland,
Disneyland.
and it was the best mistake ever. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed the vibes there. I went to Universal Studios, Disneyland. I went to the beach. It was awesome. I really love the place.
Yeah.
Great, great, great area.
Yeah,
Um,
I can't imagine living where there's snow. Like that
yeah,
would kill me. Like I can't imagine not. I even said something on Twitter the other day. I was like, how do you live someplace where you can't go outside like 6 months out of the year? That would kill me.
but we go outside, but it's not the same for sure. We try
Yeah.
to have some fun on the snow, but for sure it's not the same.
Yeah.
Anyways, so uh, do you follow Delphi's mostly, or what cases are you interested into?
The only case I've ever really been interested in was Delphi. And
Really?
I don't think I could ever get interested in another case again because of how of a clusterfuck Delphi was. Like, there's just so much that I don't think I have the space in my brain for that much information on another case. You know what I mean? But like, I have done everything with this case. Like, I know the family trees of all the pioneer families. I know the family trees of the Patty family, the Marchand families, the Hartman families. You know what I mean? Like, I know more about the state of Indiana than I do about the state of California, like, as far as history goes. So,
I imagine
yeah.
for sure. And sorry, thank you, thanks. And what is your feeling here? Are you like in the pro Allen side and the pro prosecution side, or on the fence?
No, I
But
definitely think he's innocent. Definitely,
really,
for sure. And I mean, when he very first I will admit, when he very first got arrested, like, I came home from work that day and I had a text from an ex-boyfriend who knew I followed the case, and he's like, "Did you hear they made an arrest?" And so I, like, looked it up and saw the picture, and I will say the first time I saw the picture of Richard Allen, I was like, "Yeah, that could totally be the guy." You know what I mean?
hmm
But then, like, there's just too much fuckery, and Jerry Holman just lies too much, and Nick McClellan lies too much, and then you hear the phone calls, and I've worked in detainment centers, and I've worked, you know what I mean, with prisoners, and those phone calls are not confessions to me. You know what I mean? That's just like, if you put someone in and you deprive them of human contact, I don't know. I just think I think Jerry Holman's a liar. He's not to be trusted. I think that
I
Nick
agree.
McClelland is a terrible prosecutor. I think that Judge Gold held him by the hand and led him through that case. But I've been around the case for a long time, so I didn't, like, do what a lot of people did, which is just hate everybody on the other side. I mean, there's a lot of them I have disliked since the beginning, and it gave me all the reason to just stop paying attention to them. But I mean, it is what it is. Delphi is what it is. I hope he gets in. I hope his appeal goes through. I hope Osbrook, is able to work some of his habeas corpus magic. But I was on the fence, like, the first month or two, probably. Like, you know what I mean? And then,
No,
like, the PCA thing happened, and then Diener, and, like, just it was their behavior that convinced me. You know what I mean? And then I saw the evidence, and I was like, if I was on that jury, I would not have been able to find him guilty. There would have been way too much reasonable doubt for me.
in that part, I disagree with you. I agree with a lot of points you
Mhm.
made, but if you are a juror in that case, let's say the jurors that were there, they didn't have a lot of information.
Yeah.
They didn't hear about the clients, about Ron Logan, about nothing.
Yeah.
So I cannot blame a juror, let's say. In my
Yeah.
case, in my case, because I have the same information you have, I would vote not guilty for sure. Even if I think, and this is my personal opinion, I think Richard Allen is involved, in my opinion, but whatever. I would vote not guilty because I think there was a lot of reasonable doubt, as you said. But
Yeah.
I cannot blame a juror in that case because they were
They
blind.
didn't have the information we have. Like, they don't know, like, the family trees of every pioneer family in Delphi, Indiana.
Exactly, exactly. You know what I mean. So
Yeah.
that's my point. But
And
yeah,
they didn't know who, like, Patrick Westfall was, or Brad Holder, or I don't even think they knew who Ron Logan was. You know what I
no,
mean? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So the whole point of view was Richard Allen. So for sure,
The
the,
only thing, and I shouldn't say this because I got some psycho haters that, like, go hard after me. The only thing, and do not come for me, the only thing that gives me any amount of pause, just even like the slightest hesitation, is I would like to know what Richard Allen did in Peru after he left the presence of his mother and his sister, because it looked like it took him. I'm not going to say no. I would just the Keegan Kline, Tony Klein, Peru thing has always given me like the slightest bit of hesitation, but that's it. But I mean, nothing. But there's nothing there that like is there. You know what I mean?
Why not?
Just because I think he's innocent and I think he was railroaded and I don't want to give anybody a fucking inch, you know. But I mean, I guess yeah. I will admit that those thoughts have gone through my head, but I've never taken them seriously.
I don't know if you follow my channel. Like
I do. I
you
watch
do.
you all the time.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That's my that's my
No, I
take.
know. I know
That's
that
my take.
I know you stay I know you stay in the middle, which is admirable. It takes a person. It takes a strong-minded person to be able to do that. So I mean, I'm good with it.
No, it's okay. We have our theory, so
But
uh,
I'm a stubborn
and
redhead, so fuck that Richard Allen's innocent. I'm sorry. I
and
won't cuss. You get two, and I won't cuss anymore. I promise.
no. You can tell us your opinion for sure. No worries here. This is a safe territory. And so, what channels do you follow? What channels do you enjoy? And
Well, I mean,
what channels don't you enjoy?
well, I really like Case by Case Amy, obviously. She's always I mean, I was on with her for a while. Her and I are friends behind the scenes. I love the hell out of her. And she's got great info and she does the work. And I've talked to her behind the scenes and I know that girl goes
Really?
hard. Like she wakes up in the morning thinking about this shit. So
Mhm.
I appreciate her. Um on the other side, I really dislike Sleuth Intuition. I feel like he just is. I just feel like he is not. He doesn't have any natural curiosity, in my opinion. Um. So yeah, there's that. Who else? I don't know. It's a lot of it's just. I mean, back in the day, I used to enjoy. Who did I used to listen to back in the day? Well, so a lot of the people that I used to listen to, once Richard Allen was arrested and the split was made, like those people, I didn't listen to them anymore. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
since the verdict, and a lot of people have just dropped off, even on the innocent side, like R&M Productions, obviously, like I love, and she's amazing, educated, smart, and the way people go after her is disgusting. But so I love her and Yellow Jacket. Like when they were on, they had amazing, YouTube channel. But they don't. I mean, we're over on Twitter now. I mean, YouTube is kind of.
what
I don't know.
happened? Why are not? I don't know. Yes, as you say, they are very active in X,
Uh
but
huh.
they are not doing any YouTube content anymore. Do you know why? What's going on there? I don't know.
I mean, I have an opinion, but
It's maybe
it's.
related to the appealing process, to not to
I
make.
mean, yeah, and there's just a vacuum right now, and yeah, every time Anne says anything, I mean, they tear apart every syllable she says, and like the next thing you know, she's like colluding with, you know what I mean? So I'm sure that after a certain point, a person is just like, well, fuck all y'all, you know what I mean? So there's another creator who has made it almost impossible for anybody to, he's just sucked all the air out of the room, I think, too. So I think
Yeah,
people just no one wants to engage. I mean, I am stubborn and feisty, so you bring me to a fight and I'll start throwing punches. So I didn't mind it so much, but other people do. No one wants to hear that shit. You know what I mean? It sucked the energy out of the room. So I think we
yeah,
all just went to our respected corners, are doing our own research and praying for the best as far as the appeal and post conviction relief. You know.
are you optimistic about that, or what's your feeling?
If it was any other state other than Indiana, I would have some hope. But Indiana's, it feels like to me through all the, I mean, I wouldn't call it research because like I'm just a chick Googling shit. So I mean, it's not research, but like from everything I've seen, um, I just think that I mean I read as much as a fucking asshole as he is, I read Alan Dershowitz's autobiography that he wrote, and he defended Mike Tyson and
Hmm.
Gary during his rape trial. A lot of people forget that that happened in Indiana. And he talks about in his book like how corrupt the Indiana court system was, to the point where like judges' wives were trying to get him to act like trying to bait him, you know what I mean? So I just think that it's too entrenched. What I wouldn't call it, maybe not corruption, but whatever. It's just very small town. I know people that live in Pennsylvania, and one night we were talking about Indiana, and I was like, "What do you think about Indiana?" And the dude said, there's not really one. I mean, they have Indianapolis, but like everything is just really small there. You know, like it's Cletusville everywhere, is what he said. I don't know if that's very nice, but he said it's Cletusville everywhere. So I just think it's too small and too poor. And Republican entrenched areas, not paying taxes is like a religious belief. So they don't have a tax base. They don't, they're big part of the Rust Belt. I mean, they still have some factories as far as cars go, but like they don't have they have no jobs, no money, no tax base.
Hmm.
So I don't think that they would even have the resources to overturn that conviction. You know what I mean?
So help me out here. Indianapolis is the capital of Indiana, right?
From as far as I know. But like
Okay.
the county that I live in has 14 million people, and the city of the capital of Indiana only has, I think it has like 4 million people or something. Like everything there is super super tiny. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like you're from Brazil, correct?
right. No, I'm from Colombia.
Colombia. Well, I mean, I've never been to Bogota, which God, dream, bucket list, but I've been to Rio, and like
That's crazy.
the amount of people, you know what I mean? Like there's, you know what
Sure.
I mean? Like just seas of people. I deal with that here where I live, but you go someplace like that and you can go 10 fucking miles. Like you can walk down a road 10 miles and not see one person for as far as the eye can see. Like you can stand on one side of the state and probably see all the way to the other side. You know what
Yeah,
I
that's crazy.
mean?
Oh my god.
So I mean, for those factors, I want to have hope. The constant optimist in me wants to have hope, but I don't think Indiana's capable of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand your point. And why is your name Streets of Bakersfield? It's because of the song, or?
So, well, kind of. So I used to be a first responder in downtown Bakersfield, and I changed my name just because I was sick of people saying Freckled Joy. Just the way that my haters said it was annoying. So I changed it. And I was sitting in my rig, posted, waiting for a call, and that song came on the radio. And it's a song about not knowing someone but not liking them. And I was like, that's my new name, Streets of Bakersfield.
Ah, that's funny. That's cool. But do you like country music
I
or?
like everything. Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
have horses and I live on like a little mini ranch, so I mean, obviously country music is part
cool.
of the culture. But like I also grew up in LA, so I love hip hop, like what West Coast hip hop. I
Yeah,
like I have daughters, so like I listen to pop. I'm from the valley, so I listen to pop music. So
cool.
I love Rage Against the Machine when I was in the back in the
It's
day. I
awesome.
loved hard rock like Korn, Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine, Ozfest. Like I think I went to like 5 different
So
Ozfests.
let me guess. You are like 47 or something like that,
Yeah, I'll be 47 in less than a month.
like me. So it's
Yeah.
you love the 90s,
I mean,
grunge,
that
and
was
stuff
when
like that.
I yeah, I mean that was my decade. Like I was a poor little teenage girl who thought she was going to die when Kurt Cobain killed himself. Like I thought my life was over. I cried for
Allegedly,
days.
allegedly. We don't know.
Allegedly. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, in those like the week after it happened, though, we were all and Courtney Love read that letter on MTV. Man, I cried. I cried.
Me too. I was devastated. I was
It was
devastated.
devastating. Yeah, it was so. Oh, it was. Do you
I
remember
wanted
back
to
in
kill
the day
myself
when?
too. Oh my god.
Do you remember back in the day when stuff like that was still sad? Like, yeah,
And then
I remember like the whole world stopped for like a day.
no, the 90s are the best. And you know when Kurt Cobain killed himself allegedly,
Allegedly.
there were a lot of suicides, like copycats, and that was just insane.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
there was, I think in my school, not at my school, but I think in my school district, there was a kid that killed himself. Yeah, because of the Kurt Cobain thing. But it
yeah,
could have just been a rumor, like the peanut butter rumor when we were kids. So,
exactly.
do
Yeah,
you
for
remember
sure.
back in the day when nobody was allergic to peanut butter and you heard a rumor that once and the kid at the next school over kissed a girl and like had, do you remember those?
The Mandela
And
effect.
she died. That whore. That's what you get for kissing a boy.
You kissed the wrong guy.
Hmm.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So tell me about California. So how is the vibe there in Los Angeles? You were telling me about Skid Row. Tell me a little bit about that.
So Skid Row has been there for a really long time, like since, I mean, I think maybe even before the 20s, but the old train station used to drop off right there, like the passenger train. And now it's where the Greyhound bus station is. So, and one of the things about Skid Row is so in the Midwest and in places where it gets cold, churches have these like fundraisers, and one of the ways that they help the homeless is they buy them a Greyhound bus ticket to Los Angeles, because in Los Angeles in winter you won't freeze to the sidewalk if you're homeless, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So you might melt to the sidewalk in summer, but you're not freezing in the winter. So they send these mentally ill homeless people, and they've been doing this for decades and decades. On back in the day, it was the train up, and then in the 50s and 60s, it started with the Greyhound, and they send them to Los Angeles, put them on a bus, send them, and then they get off the bus and they walk out of the bus station or the old train station, and the first thing they see is Skid Row. And it's all the drugs and mental illness one could ask for. And they just get trapped there. But when you go on a call there and like are taking information on a patient, most of them are from like Nebraska or Minnesota. You know what I mean? Like they're
Yeah,
not from here. So, and
yeah.
that's just, or they're hiding. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
People go there to hide because you can go set up a tent on Skid Row and no one's going to bother you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, it's the Cecil Hotel is there. You were talking about Lisa Lamb
Yeah.
earlier. I wasn't an EMT yet, but I remember when all of that was happening. You know what I mean? Uh, I mean, I wasn't down at Skid Row hanging out at that time, but it was on the news and the local news and stuff here that she was missing. I remember when her family came, they did a press conference, you know what I mean? I don't know if they did a press conference. There was a news something. I don't remember if they did a press conference or not, but there was
Yeah, I
like a news
remember that.
blip
They came
So
from China, right?
no, she was Canadian.
Canadian. I have Vancouver. I think so.
Yeah, she was
Yeah,
Canadian.
yeah, you're right. And you, what about you? Are you from like Los Angeles City or some
So I'm from the
area?
San Fernando Valley. Have you ever heard of a valley girl? Like the girls that go like, "Oh my God, got
Yeah,
me
for
with
sure.
this." Yeah, that's where I'm from. Yeah,
Ah,
I'm a
cool.
valley girl. So when I drink a couple of beers, sometimes you can still hear it.
Nice. That's
Like
so
something
cool.
will happen, and I'll just be like, "Oh my God."
Oh my God.
Oh no, you gotta do. Oh my God.
Oh, cool. No, no, it was so cool to have you here. Do you want to hear some song? Let's go with the music for a bit.
Hey, I'm in the mood for like some cover Bad Bunny or something. Let's go. Let's
Bad
go
Bunny?
Latin. I mean, he's coming for the Super Bowl. I mean, people are really fucking pissed about it, but I'm down.
The killer left a signature.
Do you like reggaeton?
I like, yeah. I
Yeah.
used to. I mean, back in the day, I don't remember very much of it, but we used to party in like southern Florida and stuff. So
I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to find a good cover, but anyways, let me look for something here. Bad Bunny cover. I'm just having some originals here, so for sure I'm gonna have the same problem I had before. Just let me look for a good cover here. I have just originals. Be patient, guys. Be patient. This is for Streets of Bakersfield.
you gotta. I don't even know if it. I remember I used to work in bars and we could play songs as long as we bought like the. I mean, it's really expensive, but you buy like the. I think it was called like BMG or BMI. It's like the licensing credit, and you can like play any. It gives you the license to play anything you want.
Here in Canada, everything is so expensive right now. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
found
everything here is expensive too.
it's just crazy. What's going on? Oh my God.
I
What
don't
is,
know. I think I don't know. I don't know what's happening, but it is very expensive. I mean, I do pretty well for myself, and I have people in my life that do well for themselves, and even I mean, I would consider ourselves upper middle class, and even we're feeling it. You know what I mean?
yeah, for sure. Look, I found some cover. I don't know if it's gonna be good or not. So
Aplauso para mami y papi, porque en verdad rompí.
let me.
Un aplauso para mami y papi.
So give me just 1 second. Let's play it. We never know. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not good.
Anna Lizette, I know what you're talking about, and they did decide on a place. They split it apart to like 3 different places that are less populated. So the high desert up in the Antelope Valley, which is close to where I live, more in the mountains, but I live on the other side of the mountain towards Antelope Valley. And so they have a bunch of low income apartments going in up here. There's some on the east end of the Antelope Valley, and then they are building some out in Pomona by Pomona College. So just to answer your question. But yeah, it is a huge issue here, especially with the Olympics coming in a couple years. There's going to be a huge displacement, and it's going to be really sad, but yeah, there's going to be a huge displacement of homeless people from the actual like basin floor, because there's mountains and deserts and everywhere around Los Angeles, but where they're going to be holding the Olympics, like the floor, the basin, they're going to displace homeless people, and it's going to be really sad.
Yeah. We have a VIP viewer here. It's Skip
Skip
Jansen.
Jansen.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love his accent.
Me too. I love it. Hey, it was a
He's
great.
most of the time when someone has a southern accent, I can't take them very seriously, but I do him.
Skip is so cool. I really love Skip. I watched the last streaming from Farmer with you. It was a great live. As
Yeah,
usual, everything with Skip is just great.
yeah.
I
I really
love it.
enjoy Skip.
I love his energy. So nice to have you here, Skip.
He's like a true southern gentleman. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like he's like a true gentleman and you can just hear it. And that's what I like about him.
he is. He is for sure. He's a good friend of the channel. So happy to have you here again, Skip. Cool to have you here. We have a post-punk Mama. If you like Tool, there's a good cover. Yeah, Tool is so cool. I really
Yeah,
like. Yeah, this
play
is
it, do it.
from the 90s. Yeah, let me just scroll down. Skips here. So
I
yeah.
like I never got into Tool, but they were definitely in my like peripheral. You know what I mean? I was more of a System of the Down girl, but Tool was definitely like I fucked with Tool, you know?
Same here. I think you and I we have the same taste.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we are able to recognize that Tool is great, but it's not our thing.
Yeah. Like I understand they have talented musicians and like they put together a good song, but like I wasn't part of like their fan base. You know what I mean?
You know, I
I
have
didn't
like
go to any concerts. I
I
think I
don't
went to a festival once and they were there, but like I didn't go to see them.
no, they're great. They
Yeah.
maybe my problem. I don't know if it's a problem or not, but I don't. I'm not a fan of stuff that is very sophisticated. You know what I mean?
Well,
I
it's
I
also really like you listen to that kind of music to get like aggro, you know what I mean? And they maybe have like one or two songs that make you want to go like, oh, you know what I mean? And like that's what you go to those concerts for. Otherwise, it's just like,
sure.
I mean, you might as well go to a Stained concert. You know what I mean? It's been a
I
while.
love Sting.
I
I
know,
love
but have you been to
I
one of their
love him.
concerts?
I was in a Sting concert. It was the best.
It
For
wasn't. I didn't like it. No te gusta.
no te gusta. I
No te
love.
gusta.
Hey, you have the Latino accent for real.
Hey, I live in LA. That's
Yeah.
the problem though, because I don't know very much Spanish. So like when I worked at the border with the border patrol, like I learned like
Yeah.
border patrol Spanish. So I'd be like, "Ven para acá, siéntese aquí, por favor, manos aquí." And people thought because I could say that well that I knew Spanish. So they'd start speaking to me in Spanish, and I'd be like, "No, no, no, slow down."
But eh, I can understand that in like in Miami, but in Los Angeles, yeah, it's the same.
Oh my god! Like so, yeah. I mean, there's Spanish everywhere, and like I grew up in the valley where yeah, I worked in restaurants, so like I was, everyone in the kitchen is from either El Salvador or Mexico, or maybe Guatemala. Um, and don't get them fucking confused because that's downright offensive. And definitely don't root for the wrong soccer team when the bus boys are on
Do,
the floor.
do you like soccer or not?
Um, I've gained an appreciation for it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I did. So I worked at a place called the Yard House. I don't know if you've ever heard of it,
No.
but we would shut down at like 2 in the morning, and there was the shutdown crew, the people who closed. There was this all night soccer, like field that was like indoor, and we would go. We would buy. We would send someone out to buy beer before they stopped selling, and then we would just like drink beers and play soccer because we always got out after the bars closed. So we would just have our own little after party at the soccer field. And that
Okay.
was fun. I mean, most of the time I was drunk and I'd fall on my face, but it was fun. And
What's
I
your
was trying
favorite?
to play soccer with like Guatemalan line cooks, and that just doesn't work out well
Why not?
because they're way better than me.
What is your favorite sport?
my parents had season tickets to the Dodgers like almost my
Baseball?
yeah, they got them when I was in high school and they've had them almost my entire like life since then. So I've been to tons of Dodger games. I love the Dodgers. We're back-to-back world champions, baby. But yeah, I like the Dodgers. I love the Lakers, but I've never actually been to a game because those seats are like $300 piece. And
Okay,
I
I need you to help me here.
okay.
Skip Jansen is asking something that I cannot understand. I cannot answer. So maybe you can help me. Can
So
you read?
Americana. So when I think of Americana, I think of like John Cougar Mellencamp, like little pink houses for you and me. And like he's right, like 80s rock, maybe some 70s in there, country music for sure, um, hard rock, I would say. Um, the music that you and I like could be considered Americana. I mean, those are
Oh,
American
really?
bands. I mean, not really. I guess not. No, I just want to call it Americana, but it's not. Um, I don't know. But I guess yeah, like so when I think of Americana, I think of like John Cougar Mellencamp and like Boston. But I don't know if that's right.
Okay. I really want to please Skip Jansen. Skip, what do you want to hear tonight? What's
Drop
your
the
kind
link
of
for
music?
Skip. Drop the
Yeah,
link for
we have to
Skip.
please Skip Jansen. Come on.
Skip. He's gonna drop the link and you should hit it and you should
Hey,
come
come on,
join
Skip.
us.
Hey, we should.
Skip,
He
bring
should
him
be
up.
here with us. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah, yeah,
should.
yeah.
I
Come
want to hear
on.
his accent.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Okay, let's do it. Let's
Skip,
see if he's up for it. For
drop the
sure.
link.
Just to say hello. That's
Yeah,
enough.
you don't
Just to say hello, Cryptex. Hello, streets of Bakersfield. Come on, you're gonna call and you're gonna tell us what is the song you want to listen to. Skip. Come on, you have to please the channel tonight. You are one of the VIP
He's old school
users.
like me, though. He's been around. I mean, I was here a little bit before Skip, but he's been around a good amount of time too, and he's done his homework.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, he's just awesome. I love
He's
him.
old school.
He is. Me too.
Yeah.
We are old, you know. It's the 19s, but
Yeah.
what is good after the 2000 year? You know what I mean? The
No, and
90s.
like I will tell you, I have a daughter, and she said something very interesting to me the other night. She went to her first like Halloween party at a club where they dressed up, they did the whole thing. She just turned 21.
Mhm.
And she said to me, she was like, I asked her what club it was because I wanted to research it and make sure they don't have like shootings every night. And so I asked her the name of the club and she told me and she started talking about the club and like the different nights that they have. And she was like, on Halloween, it's 2000s night, so at least the music will be good. So these kids think our music is good too. She doesn't think that she doesn't like the newer music. You can't dance to it. It's just like, you know what I mean? So when I was
Yeah,
like, "So you like my music?" She goes, "Yeah, I don't like going to clubs that play like all that techno music." And I was like,
yeah. I don't know if that's because we are really kind of old, but I don't see like an evolution in the music. You know what I mean? Like,
No, it's too like it's like all SoundCloud, like some
yeah,
kid, you know what I mean, with a Casio. But but yeah, they like our music, which is good.
yeah, we are good for sure.
Yeah.
We are a good reference.
And
I,
I used to, when they were younger, like fifth, sixth grade, I chaperoned a couple of their dances, and like the kids danced to like our old club music. You know what I mean? Like Nelly obviously cleaned up. Like all the music was cleaned up, but the music that they liked and they danced to was our music. And they also did that was during the can you teach me how to Dougie? Can you teach me how to Dougie? I learned how to Dougie.
man. He said that he's gonna call in 2 minutes, so
Yeah.
we are under expectation right now, for sure.
Dude, post punk mama, I was the queen of bubble parties. They were so gross. Oh my god, thinking about it now, like I'm surprised I didn't get like 5 different bacteria infections in like every pore of my body. They were fun.
Sure.
And foam parties.
Yeah, man. So, what were your plans tonight? Just chilling or
I was
listening to
chilling.
some
Yeah. My
random
parents are.
YouTuber?
What was that?
No, just asking you about your plans tonight. Just chilling
I'm
at
just
home.
chilling. I've got a busy weekend. We're building a garden. Yeah. We're building a
Yeah,
garden. And I'm old, so I don't go out anymore.
yeah, me too.
Being
I'm
a
the
first
same.
responder, you see, well, being a first responder, you just know that, like, it's just not worth it. You know, it's just not worth it to go out late at night anymore. So,
I told you I'm officially on vacations since right now.
really, congrats.
Yeah. Oh, we have someone here. So
You need to do a shot. Shot, 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 shot. Hey,
I need a
Skip.
shot.
We all need a shot. Not
Hey,
me.
how are you?
Good. How are
Yeah,
you?
this is really some old. This is old school night. We good. I mean, this is like old Reddit people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I was never on Reddit. I never did Reddit, but I read Reddit. I just was never a contributor. But I
Yeah.
read you a lot on Reddit. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I
man,
appreciate it.
so cool to have you here, man. What's
It's
up?
good to be here. How you been?
No, awesome. Just talking to streets, and it's great to have you here. I was watching
Thank you. Where's the beautiful pup? Where is she tonight?
the beautiful what?
Pup, your pup, Cripsy. Where is she?
Sleeping. She's
Oh,
just
she's sleeping.
yeah. It's time to sleep for her, for sure. Do you have
So,
any?
so what have y'all been talking about besides music?
No, we were just talking about I don't know, all the good times. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the
Talking
case
about
Yeah.
the
is
90s.
yeah, the case is kind of a downer, isn't it? I mean, I hate to admit it, say it, but it really is.
We talked about it for a while, but I was telling him, like, I really just feel like the air has been sucked out of the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. I probably put my nose in it last week a little bit too much and said something I shouldn't have. But I was just like,
Well, Skip,
a,
you
lo-
and I have been at this for almost, I mean, think about it. How long we've been at this? Almost a decade now, right?
a long time,
So we're gonna
too
say
long.
shit. Like we're
Well,
like the old uncles of the case. Like we're like the two
yeah.
old men in the balcony from the Muppets.
I was wanting everybody to understand because I didn't think maybe they understood that people that this feuding and stuff makes people leery about communicating and
Yeah.
it discourages people from go talking on and so because they don't want to be called a
Yeah.
mean girl or they don't want to be called a props crew or whatever you would get called.
I'm like
um
Queen. Well, no, Angela is Queen Mean Girl, but I start a lot of shit. I feel bad. And Ange takes a lot of my strays.
I mean I don't understand why I've always gotten along really good with both sides. I don't
Yeah.
understand why I can't continue that.
Well,
I didn't make that decision.
Well, I was telling Cryptex earlier, like I remember like when it happened. You know what I mean? When Richard Allen was arrested, like a line was definitely drawn, and
Yeah.
it got ugly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's too
So
bad.
yeah,
I
it
would
would
just
be
like,
more helpful if the people on the other side weren't so fucking dumb. I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Did I say that? Who said that? Who said that?
well, I think it's just one lobbing one insult after that. And I'm not saying one side's doing it more than the other. I don't really keep up with it because I'll be honest with you, I don't really understand it. Nobody's
Yeah,
people have been saying they're going to explain it to me, but nobody ever has.
it's just
Um,
ego. It's just
it's
ego,
just about
and
a video was released, and now it's was something opposition and state agent. I whatever. I know that I've always really supported All Eyes because I thought from the very beginning, I thought
She
when I
puts
saw
in
her,
the work. She puts in the
yes, she
fucking
does.
work.
That should be commended whether you are on whoever's side, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I'm not smart enough to go through her database, but I see it and I see that if I knew what I was doing, this would be helpful.
I use her, she says it's available to everybody, and she and I have shared information since she kind of got started because I wanted to help her. I thought she was on the right track from the beginning, and so I
Yeah.
wanted to kind of help her with what I knew and all that kind of stuff, and at least give her an opportunity to hear some of those things, and felt like you're making progress with both camps, and then you tell her that way you can't do that anymore. It's like
Yeah. Yeah,
shit,
no.
you know.
I think
I
it
don't.
was just a matter of ego and access. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think some people felt that they had done work and they deserved access and they didn't get it. And
Yeah.
then so they threw a shit grenade in the middle of the whole thing and just blew it up. You know what I mean?
Right. One of the things I think though too is that what do we want out of this? I mean, what do we ultimately want from this? I mean, because if we want the truth doesn't come with caveats. Okay? It
Well, I
doesn't
will.
come it doesn't come with exceptions.
Yeah.
Okay? The absolute truth is the absolute truth. Okay?
Have you been over on Twitter?
No,
There's good stuff happening on Twitter, like Yellow Jacket and Sleuthy. The information they're going through the transcripts like with a fine tooth comb and like highlighting, explaining, showing inconsistencies. Like I've been learning a lot from them over on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was one of the things. That was one of the things I guess I didn't understand about the disagreement is when we started getting the transcripts, we started seeing those CAD reports. We started seeing his exhibits. A lot of that was the final piece of a puzzle that
Yeah.
answered some questions. I thought it was great. I was like, God,
Yeah.
that explains that, and that explains that, and yeah, okay, he did, and
Yeah.
but then it just got interfered with, and it's just
Well, they're still doing it over on Twitter, but and there's some really smart people going through it. You know what I mean? That know their shit. Yellow Jacket,
yeah.
she's brilliant. You know what I mean?
Oh yes, yeah.
Sleepy with her spreadsheets, like she's brilliant too. So
You're right.
you know what I mean? So there are
Right.
still people doing good work. It's just it's been like I said on the YouTube side, like the air has just been sucked out of the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's weird how everything's kind of transitioned. We used to be
Yeah.
Reddit. Reddit was the place. That's where everybody was, and
Yeah.
where all the information was. And it changed kind of to YouTube, and I guess now, and that's fine. I used to use Reddit. Not Reddit, but Twitter. When I coached AAU basketball, and so I used it as kind of for promoting players and things like that.
Come over to the dark side, Skip.
But it just got to be such a lovely place. It was such a lovely place.
The Cranks we've got a good thing going on over there. You should come check it out. Come over to the dark side. The water's fine here.
I've never been. I don't know. I don't want to say I'm not accepted by it, but I've never been a part of. I've always been kind of on my own and did my own thing, and that's just kind of worked out for me okay. And so I try not
come
to
lurk and learn some things.
Push the issue. Yeah, I could lurk. You're right.
Come lurk and learn. I mean, there's good information over there. You should see. Like today, Yellow Jacket put something up, and I was like, I've been doing this for 10 years, and I never heard of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah. And I think there's still some stuff out there like that. I think there's still some stuff that we can learn. I really do. Like
the phone data that Amy's doing is really good work.
Awesome. I agree with you, Streets. She's great. She's digging up like heavy. I really
elevation changes, and I mean going through the modes of the iOS onto the 6. You know what I mean? Like she's really.
And I know that there is some friction between her and the cranks, let's say, but
No,
I think it's important.
they love her. They they do. They
Yeah,
love her.
not Keith. I know that there is some friction there, but anyways, it's important to continue digging up in that.
Yeah.
Today we have a lot of material to evaluate, to do some examination. Before we didn't have that. Now we have the transcript. Now we have a lot
Yeah.
of material.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of things fell
The
into
women
place
are
when all
kicking
that
ass
stuff
for
was in
sure.
place.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, see, that's why
What
I
I
like
like
having,
is this.
I like having
Go ahead. I'm
access
so
to
sorry.
both. I just liked having access to both, where I could,
Yeah.
look, it's whether anybody wants to admit it or not, it's affected relationships that are not
Oh yeah.
part of,
Yeah.
and that's disappointing because I
Yeah.
was, I always tried to help Prof with his challenge, tried to help All Eyes on Hers. I've all, I get
Yeah.
along with Angela and Courtney, and I've been on Teresa's show. I've been on Amy's show. I've been on show, so it's not like it's, I wanted to, I'm interested in talking about the case.
Yeah.
I know other people say, well, you need to listen to this because it's very important. Well, it's
No,
not
it's
really,
not.
it's not to me. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
I get to make that decision.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got something on somebody, then let's hear it. Put it out there, and let's see what it is, and let everybody judge.
Unless that person was at the crime scene, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah, instead of talking about it all the time,
Yeah.
Look, I understand. Okay, this is important. Well, yeah, but just talking about it all the time is not really important.
No.
If it provides some resolution to something, okay, that's good. But we're not getting there. It's just it still remains this. No, you're an asshole. No, you're a bigger asshole. No, you're this. It's just.
Well, with the vacuum in the case right now, it's it's created a revenue stream. You know what I mean? The controversy.
Yeah.
So.
And look, I don't begrudge anyone for monetizing their YouTube channel. I think they're providing information. They provide quality information and entertainment or whatever people want to listen to their show or watch their show. I don't have any problem with that. I don't. But I understand what you're saying, that it's we're in the post conviction phase of this, and and so how do you drum up business kind of thing? I get all that,
Yeah. That's why I like X, because I can do it in my own time on my own level. I can mute the people I want to mute, you know what I mean? And I know it's not healthy, but I can create my own echo chamber.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't have, there's so much noise. I don't have to listen to their noise. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I told after what I said what I said last week, and then it wasn't taken real poorly, but it was taken I think both sides probably thought I was taking a shot at them. I wasn't taking a shot at either side. I was saying, hey, one side needs to put up or shut up, and so and the other side needs to whatever.
Yeah.
And because it's to the point where the accusations have gotten to the level of, hey, it is kind of put up or shut up. I mean, you
Did
keep
you
saying,
know that I suck dick so good I can get a whole ass house and boyfriend, and make a man leave his, that was my last
You can?
accusation. That's what I heard.
Were you the one who sextorted me?
I'm sextorting somebody.
And it's funny. It's funny how all those stories. It's funny how all the rumors get started.
Yeah.
It's I had a female friend in the case, and of course that people from the outside were like, "Oh, Skip's sexting with this gal," and I'm like, we had a relationship that was so far from that.
Yeah.
We did. I mean, she was a happily married gal. we didn't. We would have never broached that even if one of us or both of us felt that way. Even it just wasn't appropriate. And so she was very regimented about the case. I mean, she would as soon as we would start talking about it, it's like, hey, let's talk about this. So but people make up rumors because it fits their agenda and it helps. And so whatever. The one thing about this case, it's the most unusual, has the most unusual dynamic of people are more interested in harming others than they are boosting themselves up. It's the most odd thing.
Yeah. It
It's
just
like,
reminds me of when they start talking shit about me, it just reminds me of the 90s shampoo commercial. And I always think, don't hate me because I'm beautiful. I'm just
I can't imagine. What do they say about you?
Apparently I suck dick really well.
Oh, that's right. Well, I mean, that's,
Apparently I send pictures of my titties to people and I was like, I paid like 12 grand for these things, right?
you might as well. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't,
You
but
might
I
as
did
well.
pay good money for this shit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to spend that kind of money for them, hell, show the damn things off.
I mean, no, my trip to Rio that I was talking about earlier, I had just gotten new ones, and I think everybody in Rio saw them that night. But we don't do that no more because we got babies.
Were you out on the beach with them?
No, in the clubs. There's a street. What's that street in Rio, Cryptex? There's a street that everyone goes to drink. I got so drunk I could speak Portuguese.
I forgot, but I'm not from Brazil. I'm from Colombia. So
Colombia, that's right. Okay, I'm
sorry
sorry.
for that.
I'm sorry.
Why do you think I'm from Brazil?
I've always thought you were from Brazil. I think you probably said something about Brazil once and I just assumed, which is, makes me an ass, but I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
I worked in kitchens. I know they get pissed off if you mistake them for El Salvadorian when they're Guatemalan. So I'm sorry. It's like clueless.
not a problem. I love Brazilian people.
Since you're somewhat of an expert on it, how come women's breasts, when they get them done, how come they're so firm at first?
So they have to settle into the muscle. So when you first, so most implants are under muscle implants, and it takes about 3 months so it's called the drop and fluff is when it happens, and like you notice it, and when you very first get implants they feel like they're coming out of your neck and you got to like massage them and do all the stuff, and they eventually settle into the muscle, and then that's when everything softens up.
Yeah, I knew you'd have a good answer for it. Makes sense.
The tissue and the muscle absorb the implant and everything gets a lot soft. And also I just got new ones in 2020. I got the gummy, they're called Nutrellas. They're the gummy ones, and they're the best ones I've ever had. They're like super soft and natural, and they last longer, and they don't capsulate, which is when they get attached to the tissue and look all weird. Have you ever seen the women that looks like their skin is pulling at their implant?
Well, all I know is my ex-wife, she wanted to do it, and she was like, well, it's going to be a lift. And she was still really young at the time, but so then we get a lift, and it's going to be, then she tells the doctor before she goes in, I want you to make me look like a porn star.
Yeah,
and that's what he did.
When I made my consultation appointment, I agreed on 425 cc's, and then the day of the surgery, I asked for 525 cc's.
I don't know what the number she was going with, but she did something similar. She came out. I was like, holy cow!
You always go. So here's the thing, and about breast implants is you always go a little bigger than what you think you want, because of the drop and fluff. Because when you very first get them, they're going to be swollen and big and high and tight coming out your neck. They're going to look great. And then they're going to do the drop and fluff, and they're going to go a little lower. They're not going to have as high profile at the top. So always go a little bit bigger, because you'll be disappointed when the drop and fluff happens.
Yeah, I mean, at first, she could have run. I mean, she could have sprinted a 100-yard dash, and these damn things wouldn't have moved. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
So mine aren't. I did get the lift, so mine stay where they're supposed to, but they're not that bad. Like, So let's stop talking about titties now.
Okay. How did we get
But
on
no,
that
it's
anyway?
I'm from LA, so like girl, a lot of my friends got boob jobs. So you get a nose job for your 16th birthday,
Yeah,
and then you get a boob job for your 18th birthday.
guys. When does the Botox start?
I didn't start Botox until I was in my 40s, but most of my friends started like I get 35 units like every 3 to 6 months. Sometimes I let it go longer than it should, but most
Well,
of my
you
friends have been getting them since like their
you live
mid
in
30s.
you live in the valley, right? So of course that's normal. That's just
Yeah,
normal.
yeah. We have parties.
Yeah, well, sure.
We have parties, and someone shows up with a bunch of Botox and needles, and we like inject each other.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
creepy.
it's like
Creepy.
it's like the sex toys of the parties of the.
I've heard of those, but I've never been to one. But I did grow up in the porn capital of the world, so I'm not like a prude. So
I had the funniest story. There was a guy who used to work on my car, and and he had a lisp. Okay, and I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. He's like, hey, man, how's it going? He would call me. Just I didn't really know him. He worked on my car, but he would call me. And so one night, phone rings, and he calls and says, "Hey, man, what you doing? I just seen what you were doing." I was like, "Oh, hey, Chip, what's up, man?" He's like, "Oh, man, I just didn't have much to do. My wife's having one of her parties." And I was like, "What kind of party?" "Well, she has these sex toy parties, and these damn crazy women come over and buy all this stuff."
like
And
Tupperware parties.
yeah. And and he goes, he tells me, he says, you won't you wouldn't believe some of the crazy shit that they got out there. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
what? He goes, they got this cream that shrinks a gal's, you know what? He goes, and one night, he goes, my wife had it on, I didn't know. He goes, and that shit punkered me up.
Yeah, they got a lot of shit on the market.
He said, he goes, I went down there, he goes, and that shit puckered me up. And I was like, I about fell on the floor laughing. I was like, holy shit. They do have everything for that.
Oh, don't dox me. It's Friday night. We're having fun.
Exactly.
Who's doxing?
No, don't dox me is the name
Oh.
of is their handle.
Oh,
But we love you.
yeah.
Don't dox me, and we appreciate you. But it's Friday. Take a shot on me.
Hey, Skip.
Yeah,
Uh,
man.
why don't you have like a YouTube channel, man? You have a lot of stuff to say, man. A lot of stories to tell.
Yeah, somebody asked me about that. I probably should have, if I was going to do, like I said, it went from Reddit to YouTube, and so I didn't really, I don't know. I was on other people's shows, and it seemed, I don't know, maybe I thought I played better as a guest or whatever. So yeah, I don't know. I probably should have, but it should have happened about 3 years ago. And, I have an account. I have an account, and I have subscribers for some reason. So I probably should. That way I could put out whatever kind of information I want to in time frame that I want to do it. But
You know, you are someone so fun to listen to. You know what I mean? Even if you don't have anything to say, just to listening to you is awesome, man.
Yeah, your accent.
well, I
Hey,
appreciate it. I
how
try.
do you?
I try to stay positive. I know we haven't been talking about really positive things tonight, but I really do. I try to stay. Try to take something good out of everything.
What do you think? Do you watch Hidden True Crime?
Oh my God.
Mm,
What do you think
Oh,
of all that?
I think it's.
it's bad.
I think there's some seriously crazy damn people in this. I mean, in this genre. I mean, it's. I don't know why it attracts. What it attracts, but it definitely attracts. There's some unique people that have a voice in this community for some reason.
So a lot of people, and it's the same with Lori. So I grew up in foster homes, And I lived in a lot of different foster homes, and 2 of them were Mormon. And what a lot of people don't realize is Mormon women, like the highest rate of prescriptions for Prozac is in Utah. Like Mormon women are a little batty. It's what I mean. They're taught since they're 8-year-olds to be like that. And
Yeah.
I think that a lot of us don't realize that because we're not familiar. I mean, we're familiar with the Mormon religion, so we see it and we're like, "This bitch is fucking nutty," but it's she's Mormon and it's so
Right.
Utah. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That's why I think about it. How many creators are from Utah? I mean, you got Ruby Frankie, and the bitch went to jail for beating her kids. You know what I mean?
The few Mormons that I down here, there's actually a fairly decent Mormon community, and I know one of the kind of the leaders of the church and their family. I'm friends with the son, and I know the father real well, and they do have kind of unique. The women are kind of, or at least I probably shouldn't say this is a blanket statement. I'm just going off the women always seem to be kind of, they need to feel maybe made up.
Yeah.
I've never seen the mother or the sisters look anything but about perfect all the time.
Yeah. It's very Utah. Yeah.
And so and then the men are the women are they're our support system, not type thing. And so it's there it's it definitely has kind of a unique culture about it, no question.
Yeah.
I mean,
But she
they're
is
really
crazy.
yeah. Let me ask you, I knew, I'd never heard of her before she
Yeah, me
started
neither.
covering Delphi at the trial. And I knew she was siding with, that with the prosecution side with McClellan and Holman, all that kind of stuff. But she really went out of her way to push that. It was like, hey, there was no, I mean, no objectivity whatsoever. I mean, it was like, of course, this case and this trial hasn't allowed for a lot of, because objectivity opens up things that they don't want you to see.
Yeah.
I mean, just simple things like, how do you convince a jury that your star witness saw a man 20 years old? She even said she went through yearbooks. That tells you she thought how young he was, on the bridge with poofy brown hair. He was average height. And she drew a sketch, right?
Uh-huh.
How do you convict a 5'4" guy, bald, in his 40s, with that witness as your primary witness? The only way you can do it is you have to make everybody else disappear. You have to literally eliminate everybody else from the scenario. There can't be, and that's basically what McClellan did, and she allowed him to do that.
Yeah.
And
She
so,
did.
and that was, and so, when somebody doesn't have any objectivity about it, I for me, that's kind of, I mean, there's just so many things that, I hear people talk about the people that, think he's guilty, though they want him to be guilty. He says, hey, he said he was there. He was
wearing the clothes.
Yeah, wearing the clothes.
Where's his phone? Why can't you find? But if you think about it, a lot of the people that are on that side are people that actually live in Indiana and have access and a relationship with Jerry Holman personally, or people who have a relationship with Jerry Holman. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you have a relationship with Jerry Holman, you can't think anything other than Richard Allen is guilty.
Right. Exactly. I mean, when Holman's saying things like he knew all along the sketches were, he thought all along the sketches were the same person. Well, if you read the Roy West email,
yeah,
right, where he talks about in May of 2017, where he references a meeting he had with the multitask force and to get up to speed with what was going on. And one of the things he says, and this is in May, so this is what 4 months after the murders, and he's one of the things he says is, don't forget about the guy that was seen on the bridge. Now, what about that comment makes you believe that anybody thought they were the same guy? He's specifically saying, don't forget about that guy, knowing they're working on the other guy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Holman's full of shit.
Yeah.
And it can be proven very easily. He is just I mean, I don't understand why they're so blatant about it, why they're so it's like it's like they don't even seem to care. It's like,
I think it's because the people who vote for them and keep them in place, like, are people in Indiana, and I don't think there's much pushback as far as that's concerned. Everybody that is pushing back is, as far as they're concerned, an outsider, and they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
As long
right.
as the people in their world believe them, like, they don't care what, because I mean, they just need their echo chamber. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So, and Jerry Holman has created an amazing echo chamber for himself, you know?
Oh, it's unbelievable. You know, and I mean, look, he's got full support from the state superintendent. You know, Carter talked like he was, you know, the greatest detective that ever lived, and Jerry
I'd walk
Holman.
across. What do you say? Like, I'd walk across.
Yeah, Jerry Holman's not a liar. You know, he's not. I was like, well, yeah, actually he is, but whatever. And you know, but Carter lost his cool and his composure and started saying stuff. Just, you know, if you don't believe
Yeah.
this, just leave the country and shit. Yeah,
What the fuck?
I mean, what that
Take your Indiana bumpkin ass and fucking shut the fuck up.
it got so unprofessional that it was like,
I know.
and you know, I think if we I've done a lot of research on the first 2 years of the investigation, what really happened, right? What you know, and when you realize what really happened, and you compare that to what we've been told, the bill of goods that we've been sold about it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, literally nothing that they've told us is true.
And it started from the very beginning with the PCA and like the 8th page. Like, we can't even see who signed the fucking PCA. I mean, this is the United States of America. Like, what the fuck?
Well, and that was one of the things in the contempt hearing I talked about what Fig had told me about, that the PCA we see is actually version 2.0, because the first version they took to the judge was so bad that they were like, no, we can't.
Yeah.
And so how do you go just
Dinah
change
fucking wrote it for him.
it? I mean, hey, I need you to go change
Leslie
this.
put in such a bad fuck, or was it Leggett? One of them put in such a bad fucking PCA that it was.
Yeah.
Is it Diener or Diner had to write the
Diener, yeah.
fucking shit for him?
Yeah, let's change this tan jacket
Yeah.
to blue. Let's add bloody with muddy. And you know, and that was that was one of the things too in the Roy West email. He says, you know, and this goes to Sarah Carball about when she actually came forward and what she and the whole. And this is May again. This is the month before they claim she did this sketch in June, before they released it in July. He's saying you should have, there will be a witness saying this guy was wet. It's like, oh, hold on a sec, time out. They claim they do have one, Sarah Carball. They claim she said muddy. Muddy by definition is wet dirt.
Yeah.
So why is he saying you should have someone who is wet from crossing the creek when they already had one? He would have known that. He's, like I said, he referenced being there a week before.
Yeah.
They did, her entire her entire experience and is wrong. I don't. She didn't come forward when she said she came forward.
Well, I
She
mean, look at
didn't.
her behavior in the trial. I mean,
Yeah.
she came into that aggressive because she knew she was lying. She was on the defense she was defensive as soon as she got up there because she knew that what she was saying. I mean, if you said something untrue and someone stands up in court to pick you apart, you're going to immediately become defensive if you know that what you're saying is not true. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah, they try to slide the other uh, sketch artist in there. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't do any of the other sketch, but he happened to do hers because I guess they didn't want to tell him that one had already been drawn.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is just it's
Well, this whole
it's
case
off the
is like,
charts.
don't piss on my leg and tell me it's fucking raining. You know what I mean? Like that's
Exactly.
like
Yep.
the like
That's exactly what it is. That's it. It is. Yeah. It's like that's what I was telling somebody today. I said, I trust my eyes. Nobody's going to convince me what I see is wrong. Now
yeah.
I can hear things wrong, and we know from the misinformation and disinformation that's been disseminated in this case that there's been a lot of uh, verbiage and narrative things that have been told have been wrong. Most of it has. But would your eyes tell you, hey, if this witness right here describes exactly what's on that piece of paper, then that's the witness who did it. I mean,
Yeah.
some things are simple, and they've taken those things and they've made them so difficult, and put out so much misinformation with it that people have lost. They don't trust their eyes anymore because they've been told what they're seeing is wrong. Yeah, that's bullshit, Because
Yeah.
when some of this stuff when some of the truth comes out about that, people are going to say, well, God, it was right there in front of us.
Yeah.
But what you have to understand is, yeah, it was, but you never saw it because of the amount of misinformation that was associated with it. They were going to make sure that you didn't see what you were really seeing. You were going to see what they wanted you to see.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that, I mean, from the very beginning, it was fishy because, like, at the very beginning of the case, everyone was like, I mean, on the Facebook groups, I'm talking like the first month, you know what I mean? In the Facebook groups, everyone was like, Derek, Derek, Derek. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like,
Yep.
dude's an informant, dude's a fucking snitch, da 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 da. And then Becky joined the Facebook groups, and all of a sudden, you couldn't say shit about Derek. You know what I mean? It's like, but
Yep.
that's like in every murder of a child, you go to the people who are closest to them, but that was not fucking allowed. You know what I mean? The families are cleared. Well, you know what? They didn't even test the DNA on the families, so no, they're not clear. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Nobody was allowed to talk about victimology. And in a case where victimology could have been
Was crucial.
absolutely crucial, right?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
she was speaking with.
She lived in a home with a convicted felon who was on an Indiana website for being like a prolific snitch, just freshly out of prison. Like, and we're not allowed to fucking talk about Cody, her other person that lives in the house with her, freshly out of fucking prison, but we're not allowed to talk about that. Like, you're living in a house full of felons. No one's allowed to fucking talk about it. Like, what the hell?
Yeah. You got sextortionists over a couple of towns over who were used to drop by and talking to, and we can't talk about any of that.
Yeah.
They're allowed to. The thing that pissed me off about the Klein thing was, look, anybody who suspects that, I think it's a reasonable thing, because when you know how remote that area is, and you know what are the odds that they just happen to run into somebody that day. I mean, the odds are so low.
And a 45-year-old man for the first time in his life on a Monday afternoon at 2:00 just decides he wants to kill two girls in the woods. Like, with everybody, look at all the people around. Cheyenne standing at the bridge supposedly while he's killing them in the woods. Didn't hear a fucking thing. Like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, someone's standing. And from what I hear, you can hear everything standing on that bridge because of the type of stone in the ravine there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think they probably thought they were along. They were like, hey, chances are, they were lured out there some way somehow.
Or someone knew they were out
Yeah,
there.
somebody knew they were out there, because the odds of them just being just a random thing, wrong place, wrong time, are just so low. So I get all that. But what irritated me about it was law enforcement for 5 years didn't release anything. I mean, didn't release anything to the public.
Yeah.
They allowed the Klein investigation to play out in the public eye and allowed Murder Sheet to narrate it for us.
And why do you put out a public statement at 10 o'clock at night on a Monday? Like, who made that decision? That's unusual. You know what I mean?
It's incredibly unusual, Yeah.
Then they attach it to the Abby and Libby tip line, but it has no connection to Abby and Libby. Like, what?
I think, I won't go into the whole detail of some things I believe happened, but the internet crimes against children unit with the ISP is very important, very important. And
why was the Joint Terrorism Task Force in Delphi when that happened? And we've got Vinlanders down the street. Like, what the
fuck? I know.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know.
And there's a green bandana at the scene, but nobody look at Patrick Westfall, who just got pulled out of his house at fucking gunpoint. Like, are you kidding me?
I mean, and the whole thing with Ives and the staging and the signature and all that kind of stuff. And, it was like there was the, why the girls weren't I mean, the controversy started immediately. Why the girls weren't found. Carter won't even answer that question. I think I'll leave that unanswered.
Yeah.
What the hell does that mean?
What does that mean?
Right. You'll leave it unanswered.
That's fucking crucial. Where the fuck were they?
Absolutely. I mean, you're not going to, when the first, however many hours it was that they went missing is crucial. Victimology of the victim of the girls is crucial.
And in the coroner's report, we have no stomach contents. We don't have stages of death. Were they in rigor? Were they in liger? Like, what stage of death were they in? You know what I mean? That's huge. That can give you a time of death. You know what I mean?
Of course it can.
I mean, it's all over by 3:30. What the fuck does that mean? Like, what does that mean?
I just know. I know people talk. They ask, hey, is this a losing 70 days of interviews and
know what that is, don't you?
What's that? Losing that?
They didn't lose it. So here's what I think happened. So you remember there was the rumor that Abby was pregnant?
Yeah.
So do you know what that came from?
No.
That came from Brad Holder's interrogation. Like, they said some fucking outright wretched shit about those girls in interrogations, and they don't want anybody to hear what they said. They don't even want the fucking transcripts out there.
So they basically just took any information that was inconvenient and tossed it, burned it.
Like Mullins and someone else was in there talking about, like, Abby was pregnant, like, they were like, these girls were texting everybody, these girls were like, they were saying some wretched shit about teenage girls when they were interrogating these people to try to get them to, like, give them information. And they don't want that out there. They don't want Becky Patty seeing that or even knowing that they said it. But that's where that shit came from.
Streets.
Yeah.
How do you know? How do you know that? What's the source of that information?
Because Brad Holder said it once in a text message to someone back in the day when all of this shit was still there. A lot of shit's been cleared over the years. You know what I mean? But there was a screenshot of Brad Holder saying that that's where the Abby's pregnant rumor came in.
Okay.
Because he heard it in interrogation.
I don't know, Streets, if you have like a TV or something behind you, but we can't hear no noise. No?
I might be Skip. Is it you, Skip? Because it's not me.
I don't know. I've had a little echo, but I've got on earphones.
Now it's perfect. Now
I
it's
have
much better.
CNN on, but it's muted.
It's a little bit much better now.
Yeah, I don't hear anything. But
Now it's good.
But yeah,
Okay.
Post Punk Mama is right. They did it. They did a slut shaming. Like they slut shamed those girls, and then they didn't want those transcripts out in the public. So, oh, those damn Chinese, they made us lose it. You know,
I mean, they seriously they taped
blaming
over.
it on the
Yeah,
Chinese is the most Indiana fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
yeah, they taped over the first week or taped over the first week of interviews, witness interviews, right? So they don't have the people who came forward right away.
Yeah.
Then they don't have the 70 days of people that they went out and found, investigated, that happened a little bit later, you know, the Brad Holders type people. Then they what was the other thing that they
They don't
well,
have
we know.
any of the audio for the stuff that they do have. They don't have the audio, and no one took notes.
Oh yeah. And here's the funny thing about it is the dates they said it was like April the 30th or April 28th through June 30th or something like that. Is that they just happened to have Sarah Carball about 3 interviews with her.
Yeah.
Well, how did they happen to have those if they didn't have anything else? It was June 9th, June 17th. It's like, well, I mean, you guys are just seriously have no fear that you're going to be that somebody's going to find out about this. You guys are shredding evidence, and I mean, it's like the stuff that got normalized in this case is just unreal. I mean, it's like,
Well, because the people that they have to answer to aren't pushing back on any of this. No one in Delphi or Carroll County is pushing back on Mullins. No one in Carroll County is pushing back on Liggett. No one's pushing back on any of them. They are the people in power. They're scared of them. They believe them, and that's all they have to convince. They're very isolated communities. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
right,
as long
yeah,
as the people in Carroll County respect them, they don't give a fuck about anybody else. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, right, exactly. As long as they can keep their stature there, that's all that
Yeah,
that's
as
all that
long as
matters.
they can still be like, everybody knows the body state, because that new sheriff that wanted to come in, a lot of people don't realize this, but you remember the fire of
Yeah,
what was their name? Is it Huddleston?
yeah,
The
the Huddles,
Huddleston
yeah,
fire,
yeah,
and then they go to tell the father in Flora, and he's
and he,
dead in his car.
yeah,
So the guy who was running for sheriff was related to that guy, and he was fucking pissed about all of this, and that's the reason why he ran for sheriff. He wanted to come in and he wanted to unbury all of the bodies. He wanted to bring in the FBI, and they can't have that. They can't have people sniffing around their fucking cemetery. You know what I mean?
when I first read that story, I was like, well, that can't be right. I mean, it's like, so four family members die in this one fire, and they go to find the father, and he's dead as well at a place 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
How the hell does that happen?
And Logan Holder and Brad Holder's son is the person who made the GoFundMe for it.
Yeah,
Like,
Levi.
what the fuck?
Yeah, Levi.
Yeah.
Levi, you know, it's an
Who's
interesting.
now a Logansport fucking cop.
Yeah, hey, you know an interesting thing about Levi? You know, not just that he was a or he wanted to be a mortician and was embalmer and all that. And they wiped him out of the story, but I've got the screenshot before the newspaper took him out.
Mm-hmm.
There was a runner at Logansport High School that had gone off, I think, to Valparaiso to school as a track. He was a track athlete, and Levi ran track with him. Well, this kid was back home from school, and one night he and Levi were just messing with a 38 at his parents' house, and the kid it goes off, and the kid kills himself or accidentally kills himself.
What?
And Levi's there.
No, hey, skip.
Yeah.
And Dad's like a prolific Freemason.
Can you repeat that,
Snapchat
please?
handle is 213.
Yeah, let me tell you the kid's name. Okay, his name was Jacob. Hold on. golly, I should know. I looked up, but it was so interesting. And for a while, the newspaper, every newspaper carried the story. All the local ones, Northwest Indiana. But it was Levi. Levi Holder was the friend that was over there. It happened about midnight, and I was like, man, that kid's around a lot of death for somebody, not 20 years old. I mean, God, what the hell? What's the deal? I
That's
mean,
weird.
yeah. So, and for some reason they thought they needed to wipe that out. I mean, nobody. I don't know that anybody was accusing him of doing anything. It was just an odd circumstance that. Hey, hold on a sec. Let me. Hey, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah,
I want to tell you this kid's name, so if you want to look it up.
yeah, sure.
Skip coming in with the receipts.
Oh
but
yeah. Oh my God.
that
That's something, huh?
that Huddleston thing was one of the most bizarre thing. And like you said, and Levi's he's the family spokesman,
Yeah.
right? And he's setting
Yeah.
up a GoFundMe and all this kind of stuff. Kid's name was Brad Holder will probably send me a nasty something, but whatever. I'm tired. I'm tired of the trying to hide and
He's such a fucking little weirdo, man.
God.
Those
Man.
burn pits in Iraq, man, they fucked his brain up.
Let's see where that kid. Let's see here. There was so many unusual things about this case and some of the. Let's see here.
Well, you knew Ives thought it was Odinism by simply using the phrase non-secular, because it
Right.
wasn't Christian, it was
Correct.
pagan, but they didn't know which part of pagan it was, so he just said non-secular. So from the very beginning, they were on an Odinist angle. Sorry, I saw someone mention Ives, and it reminded me of that.
Absolutely. There was. They were on that, and then
Even
look,
Holman thought it was. And he's such a fucking liar when he says he wasn't, because he was all about it.
all about it. I mean, look, Holman hasn't said much that's true.
Yeah.
Honestly, he hasn't said hardly anything really that's true. And so, what do you kind of expect with him?
Yeah.
So, let's see here.
Hey Dad, can we talk? Sure. I gotta complain about something.
Let's see what that kid's name. I know his name is Jacob. I should have it in front of me.
The kid who died?
Yeah, police report Indiana teen killed in handgun accident happened on December the 15th, 2016.
2016?
2016, yeah. We didn't go to Valparaiso. He went to IUPUI. He was on track scholarship. Jacob Graff, Graf.
Shit.
And he ran track with Levi. And in 2016, it was. I think this kid was a. I don't know. I think he was pretty good. Obviously, he was if he got the track scholarship. So, but yeah, it was happened at his parents' house. It was. I guess he was home for. I guess be Christmas holidays. Reason he was home, and so
Yeah, December 15th. They would have just finished with finals.
I mean, but think about how close. I mean, that's 2 months.
Yeah.
From when Abby and Libby were. I mean.
And it was right after.
Damn.
It was almost a month after the Flora fires.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can look it up. It's a Jacob Graff, Logansport track guy, and you'll see it. They've wiped Levi's name out of it, but I've got and I'll get it cryptic. I've got
And
a
why?
screenshot.
That's the thing, though, too. Why? Isn't that weird? Like, you can find the arrest record of every motherfucker in Carroll County, but you can't find shit on Brad Holder, any of the holders. And they are like, they do shit. You know what I mean? But, like, why are they why? Like, what power and pull do they have that, like, they can erase their name out of newspaper articles about a death? You know what I mean?
Yeah, you wouldn't think. Yeah, you wouldn't think just normal. People can do that. I mean, right?
I couldn't do it. I mean, you can still find, like, my marijuana charge from when I was 17 at Chatsworth Park. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah, skip.
you didn't get that. You didn't get that taken off, did you?
Skip.
I mean,
Yeah,
so it's
cryptex.
never been there, but I had a federal equip background check. It took like 7 months, and they went over my life with a fine tooth comb, and they pulled it out, and I was like, I can't believe you found that. I was a minor.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
No, that's the thing about that's the one thing I'll push back a little bit. A lot of people think that my presence in this case from the very beginning has been about Daniel Pierce and this and that. I haven't. I have looked in every little
Well,
nook
that
and
was just
cranny.
because of the Snay thing.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean,
Snay started a YouTube channel just to tell you to fuck off.
well, we just had a misunderstanding. That's all it
Yeah.
really was. It was not.
But I mean, you spawned that dude.
I was actually he wanted to be involved in it. I was cool with it. It got a little too much too quick, and I just wanted to pull back. And I don't know. It's over. We've gotten past it, and
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, I'm
and
not
it's
talking shit.
yeah.
Snay and I have gotten past our shit too. But I'm just saying that, like, that's why you got Daniel Pearson attached to your name. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I knew I didn't I never I don't know that I ever just was 100%. Oh yeah, he's the guy. I knew there was something wrong with his story. I knew that particularly after I was on True Crime Garage and we were and I've never talked about this before. This is something I'm going to at some point when I talk about it is I got a call from the captain on True Crime Garage. He says, "Hey, I've got 2 emails here from people who say they're Pearson's friends, and they're saying that we were wrong about something about the time he got there." I said, "Okay, what do they say?" He says, "Well, they say he got there at 1:30. And they are asking why are we saying he got there at 3?" I said, "Well, just tell them, hey, look, that's been his story on social media. I mean, that he
Yeah,
got there
because
at 3."
back in the day, he was telling everybody he was there. He was the only one who saw him. Do you remember that? Like, he was
Yeah.
all, and then he just went radio silent.
Well, because it blew that's the truth about that is how the whole thing blew up, and that's actually what led to the change in sketch. Because on February the 6th of 2019, 2 months before the sketch change, Tobe told Hannah Shakespeare point blank when she was there for her documentary, Daniel Pearson is the witness, and we have him as a witness seeing bridge guy exit via the Freedom Bridge. And that was February the 6th, 2019.
19, yeah.
So if he's the primary exit witness, where's Sarah Carball's real role in this? And then when they brought Sarah Carball and Betsy Blair back in on April 1st and April 2nd, that's one of the things nobody can ever answer is why did they disregard Betsy Blair? Because she's the only witness who claims to have seen the girls and saw them walking directly in the path of a guy on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, what happened to the guy on the what about the guy on the bridge? So why did they disregard her and push her back? Why did she never do a drawing for the car until 2019? All of that, right? So she obviously was kind of, they just put it aside, and I think they knew what they had with Sarah Carball, which wasn't good. So when they realized that Pearson's signing was no good, they flipped. They absolutely flipped, and that was the thing that caused the sketch change. And they want to say, it was just we weren't getting any traction with the old guy. Look, you got Daniel Nations and you got bruising. You had way more than with the old guy sketch. You know, it's like, and plus, if Holman's right and he thinks they're both the same, why would you need to take it down at all?
Yeah.
Because they never were. They never were, because they've lied about who the witnesses initially were.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
they
I'm going to put all this out. It's very complex, and but I've got, like I said, you know, I've got 2 emails from people saying that Pearson got there at 1:30, right? The girl he was with, you know, and before I said anything about Shelby Hicks on True Crime Garage, nobody had ever mentioned her. That
Yeah.
the girl he was with was a mystery, right? And I caught so much. Oh, he wasn't with Shelby Hicks and all that kind. And so I told him, I said, yeah, he was. You'll find out. So sure enough, he
They
was.
even tried to. I mean, did you hear about Cheyenne's testimony on the
Yeah,
stand where she was
yeah.
like, they were trying to convince me it was a different Shelby. You know what
They
I
were
mean?
exactly. They were trying to. There were Facebook groups trying to convince people. There was one that tried to convince. Oh, Shelby was out there, yeah, but it was with this guy named John Shields, and I was like, "What are y'all doing? What?
Yeah,
Why are y'all making up these lies
well,
about
I think a part that we have to remember is this is all happening in the setting of a very small town, and all of these people know each other. They
Yep.
grandparents know each other. They farmed each other's land, and so that's where all of this is. That's the reality that all of this is happening. And so us on the outside are like, what's happening? But you're dealing with this small town politics. Daniel Pearson's father and his family have been there since the town was created. They're on the original plat. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that there was a strong there's always been a strong need to protect like those families. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
Harbaugh,
absolutely.
her family's been there forever. Like she is, I think she's an Abbott or a McCain, or like they're all kind of like the Abbotts and the McCains and the Mears are all the same
Yes.
fucking family. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing with the you know, people that are the sleuths. Everybody has a unique path at which they've come to this case, because they've come at different times and they've gone down
Yeah.
different roads. So that was part of my concern with the whole, you know, this side and that side, was that why would we want to neglect somebody else, because they said they have made information that
Yeah.
because of the way they, you know, even if they are acting like an asshole or whatever they're, you know, and so that, you know, so I had those 2 emails from his friends that we verified who his friends. One of the kids lives right there by the bridge, and the other one lives in Camden. And then a girl calls up, and the captain talked about this when he was interviewed on Murder Sheet. She calls up raising hell. He left there by 2:00. Y'all don't know what the hell you're talking about. Well, then we find out that Shelby's grandfather said, yeah, they got there at 1:30. So now I've got 4 pieces of evidence that say he was there at 1:30, right? And he is, there's only one. Betsy Blair describes a man 20 years old in his early 20s, right? Normal, he's average height, he's got poofy brown hair, right?
Looks just like Garrett Kurtz.
He looks just like the sketch, right?
Yeah.
And people are not going, oh, look, do you know how many 20 people in their 20s were there that day? Males? One.
Yeah.
One. There was one known one to be there, and nobody will say it's Daniel Pearson. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen.
So do you think that's who Betsy Blair saw?
Yeah, I don't think there's any question about it. Once I found out that he was there at 1:30, and then when I heard Shelby's testimony, if you read her transcripts, she's lied so much. She says, "Oh yeah, I knew I was in Lafayette, and I was taking my new car in to the shop, and I knew we got there at 2:30 because I took my car in at 12. It was just making no sense." And then, but at the end, she says, you know, she's insinuating that Pearson came with her, right? But because they were, one witness saw them walking together as they were coming in. But at the end, she says, after we left, we went to Amish country, and then he dropped me off at my car. It was like, well, hey, wait, what? He
I thought your
dropped you
car
off.
was at the dealership.
Yeah,
Well,
or
they lie a lot in that town.
and they do it under oath.
Yeah, I don't think that they understand what I mean. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but like, I just think that
I think
under oath is a is not always a binding thing there. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think
yeah,
perjury was a common denominator here in this case.
Yeah.
I agree.
And the
Yeah,
people that weren't perjuring themselves were treated like shit, like Cheyenne. You know what I mean? Cheyenne didn't want to have anything to fucking do with this. She's like, I was
Exactly.
there, I didn't hear anything. Deuces. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
after what Anthony Greeno did to her, I don't blame her though. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, and one of the things, another thing with that whole Pierce thing that law enforcement tried to sell was, oh, well, he saw McCain. That's who the sketch was.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the sketch was of somebody in his 50s with peppered hair, facial hair,
and
a
McCain's face is
golfer's cap.
and
Go
McCain's
look-
face is really long.
Exactly.
And that guy's face is round. You know what I mean? With jowls
go
and
look at Pearson's test. Go look at Pearson's description, and then look at Old Bridge guy, and you're like, holy shit, that's exactly what he said.
yeah.
You can even see the peppered hair. You'll notice the salt and pepper hair even probably for the first time. You'll go, oh shit, well that's where they got that from. And
Yeah.
the golfer's cap. Nobody else said golfer's cap. He says golfer's cap. What's on Old Bridge guy? A golfer's cap.
Have you ever seen that video with Brad Holder where he does the hat thing? Where he's like, you guys think because I have this hat.
that is so disrespectful.
What?
Come on, he was very disrespectful in that
But
video.
I kind of think so. This is what I kind of think, and this is just my conspiracy brain, and I could just be schizophrenic. But
Go
to
ahead.
me, it feels like he's saying you guys think it was this hat, but it
Yeah.
was really this hat. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like he's doing. Totally.
Well,
bragging about it.
yeah, right. And
it's that's what I thought when I saw it, and I was like, motherfucker, like
yeah. So if he saw McCain wasn't wearing a golfer's hat,
yeah,
that
no.
cap that day, and so here and so but they wanted us to believe, oh, we saw McCain. That's who he saw. That kind of plays off. Of course, they're hiding what actually happened in 2019 and all that. But I've got a guy. There was a guy who was. Do you remember? Well, you wouldn't maybe remember because it was red. There was a guy named Sean Palmy who went by baseball cap safety, and he was one of my biggest haters. I mean, he stayed after me all the time. Worse than that damn Norrock guy. Anyway,
I lurked in Reddit. I'm just not smart enough to like participate, but I lurked.
Well, it was I was I was they kept me on my toes pretty good bit. Anyway, so he says I've got this conversation I had with Pearson and all this. I said, well, and he kept telling me, he said, you and so are the same person. I said, if I can prove that I'm not the same person as that is who you're saying, or maybe he was accusing me of being Derek Godsey or something. Anyway, something ridiculous.
Oh, Godsey.
Yeah, I got accused of that.
That dude. Oh my god.
People said that as a fact. They were like, "Oh yeah, Skip Scottsy." I was like,
what happened with that guy?
I don't know.
I think that he fucking finally went on some meds or something. I think he finally started taking his medication.
It was really crazy. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I
remember he threatened to like during the George Floyd riots, he was like threatening to go to Canal Park and like blow up their building.
Sure.
Yeah, he was he
was crazy. I think he finally went back on his medication though. And his dad was like a big pastor or something, so his dad probably fucking put an end to it real quick too.
Well, and so this guy tells me he's got this conversation with Pearson. The conversation happened in March 9 and 10 of 2020. Okay. Well, when when Sean shows Pearson the picture of McCain, he doesn't know who the hell he is. He doesn't say, "Oh yeah, that's the guy law enforcement said I must have seen." Nothing. No, it's like, yeah, maybe that guy's, and he's being vague because obviously the guy looks like he's 100 years old. So and there's no sketch of anybody 100 years old, and
Yeah.
he's admitted to doing a sketch. So he didn't even know in 2020 who the hell McCain was. So where did this narrative come from that, oh, we saw McCain? Oh, that's, yeah, don't even question us about it. No, I did. I questioned your ass because I knew you were lying. And that's why I never stayed off of them on that with Pearson back, because I know he's lied the whole time and he needs to answer for that. Period. I mean, anybody who thinks it's just okay to lie and double murder because it's inconvenient, or you're trying to insert yourself, or you're trying to do what you're trying to take any kind of pointing fingers off you, whatever he was trying to do. I don't know. I have no clue. He lied. He lied about when he got there, who he was with, how he got there. He's lied on social media. He's pushed the narrative, which is even worse. So I don't have any problems staying on him.
Mhm. Well,
And it just so happens that all the pieces that were going to fall in place have all fell into place. And when you read his CAD report about that, he came forward the next morning and talked to Hammond, and Hammond said, "Hey, let's get you a sketch artist, and we need to make, we need you to come in immediately, and we'll get you an investigator to talk to." And it's like, well, oh yeah, what happened that first week? Oh yeah, those are gone. So no history of that. So we'll never be able to see what he actually said, unfortunately.
yeah,
But
Skip.
yeah, man.
Sorry, if I'm gonna cut the flow here. Uh, Before you were talking about Levi Holder.
Yeah.
When I see the sketch that was made from Teresa Liebert, the
Yeah.
one we can see at the screen, to me it looks exactly like Levi Holder. What do you think?
One of the interesting things about that is that I agree with you. I never really put that together, but he used to talk about how he used to run at the trails all the time. He used to, that's where he'd go practice, whatever, just getting his runs in, where he would run, the trail system there. And so, somebody early in the morning on a run being in that spot, it's an unusual spot for somebody 8 in the morning or whatever it was to see by mailbox and all that kind of stuff. Until you put it with, what happened, then it becomes really odd. It's almost like, did they not identify anybody? Did they not? I mean, did they not? I mean, I think the young guys, I think they realized that was Pearson. And that was the end of that. They were like, oh, that's who she saw. That's why we disregard her. But other than that, they didn't identify anybody.
Yeah, man.
It's like, did you guys do any investigating at all?
No.
Did you bring anybody in and grill them in interrogation? Say, hey, where were your whereabouts? You were unaccounted for? Any of that?
Do you think they thought it was Garrett Kurtz and that's why they actually released it, even though they thought it was Daniel Pearson?
Possibly,
because they released it and then started talking about the shack, and Nicole Bowen was found in. Well, it was like a cargo container that they turned into like a hunting shack.
Yeah, I think they were iffy. The timing on it suggests that. I mean, because the timing of it was exactly.
It was like right at the same time. It was like 2 weeks later, right?
And he definitely resembles the sketch as well. So they probably couldn't put him there was the reason, because I mean, if they could have put him there, that he might have gone down for this. You know what I'm saying? If they could have, Because what was his excuse? He was on meth and he was on
You know, he was on spice.
on spice. And he was on with his grandmother's or something.
He went to his mom's house or something and like slept for like a week or some shit like that.
Yeah. So they probably couldn't.
And plus, he lies so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're
Exactly.
like, how are you? It's the same thing with Keegan Kline. Like,
yeah. What do you believe?
what do you believe? You know what I mean? And like, when you've got people lying for commissary, like the standards are low. You know what I mean?
Well, when you realize that somebody like that there's no right wrong component in telling the truth and lying. It's totally what benefits them. Telling the truth is just it can be as good an option if it falls into what's best for them. They'll tell the truth. He'll tell the truth if that's best for him, but he'll lie if that's best for him. So there's no, it's not like, okay, he's, he doesn't have any kind of, there's no the moral compass is so out of whack that you can't tell if he's because it's all based on how the lie or telling the truth will affect him. That's all it's based on. And so
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna back out and come back in because my audio is fucked up. But
Oh, no problem.
I'm coming right back in.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna wait for you. And Skip, and
Yeah, man.
when we talk about Keegan Klein, and everyone is telling us that he's a liar. Of course, we know that he's a liar for sure.
Yep.
But when we are talking about his interrogation at the Grissom Air Force Base,
Yeah.
he was under the scope of a polygraph. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, listen, that's what I'm saying. If the truth is better for him, he will tell the truth. Lie. So I mean, if somebody says, "Oh, he's lying," he tells the truth. He does, but it's just based on how it affects him. It's not based on whether it's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do.
Of course, for sure.
It's almost impossible. He's being honest about some things, but it's not the same kind of honesty that you and I would say something or a normal person would say something, right? So the context gets out of whack because he's not telling the truth of the line for the same reasons that you and I might,
Yeah.
Like I said, if the truth, like if he said, look, I talked to girls and we were going to meet, but it didn't work out. If that was the truth, he would tell that truth because that's better than the alternative. So that would be him telling the truth. It would be, it would be to his benefit for reason he's doing it, but he would tell. So you can't say that he lies about everything because he doesn't. It's just the basis of it is just different than what it would be for a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I mean here is that a lot of people disregards the statements of Keegan Klein just because he's a known liar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can be cheated by Keegan. Me, I can be cheated by Keegan. Streets, she can be cheated by Keegan. But law enforcement, when they have a polygraph, they are not gonna be cheated.
Right.
They're gonna be able to detect when Keegan Klein is telling the truth or not. And in my opinion, that's why they went to conduct the search of the Wabash River, because they were sure or they were positive about some truths in the statements of Keegan Klein. You know what I mean? I don't know if I'm making it clear.
I know exactly what you mean. What a technique in interrogation is to, when you have someone like that, is to offer him things that he'll be incentivized by telling the truth. Get him to tell the truth, make him, ask questions in a way where telling the truth better for him. So I think I agree with it. I think he was telling the truth a lot of it, and I think they probably got to the point where it was like, I don't know exactly what he told. I was a little bit a part of that, the people that were involved, and not because I wanted to be. It just worked out that way. With the couple of girls who were talking to him, and then Fig was invited. Anyway, I won't go into all that, but I don't know what all he told. I do know who and why he told the red Jeep and all that kind of stuff, and that's the thing about it. Just because he lies one time doesn't mean it automatically means he lies every time. That's the tricky part,
Here's the thing, though. The entire unified command showed up to his sentencing and sat in the jury box. Doug
Yeah.
Carter too. They took that shit fucking personal. So
Yep.
why? You know what I mean? I think that he helped. That's one. See that this okay. This is the part that I was talking about earlier. This is what gives me pause. Okay,
Okay.
is that so they go and they search the Wabash River because Keegan Klein told them to, right?
Right.
Doug Carter takes off for Europe. They arrest Richard Allen.
Right.
Somehow, and they're not going to tell you how. And I almost think, okay, don't come for me. But Keegan Klein gave them Richard Allen. There's something that Keegan Klein gave them that led them to Richard Allen, and they searched that river and went for his house. But they were so fucking mad at Keegan Klein for giving them the runaround, they weren't going to give him credit for shit. But they went to his sentencing. They took what he did personally in the entire unified command. So somehow, some way, Keegan
Yep.
Klein is involved and gave them something that they fucking wanted.
Yeah, exactly. And let me tell you, let me go back. Let me digress here a little bit. You remember me talking about the Internet Crimes Against Children unit? Their funding is done completely on a performance basis. They are totally dependent on funding. They were so enamored with that. Okay.
Yeah.
You know how somebody, you're so obsessed with something or whatever. If somebody will tell you something, you'll believe it just because you want it to go that way.
You want
right?
it to be true. Yeah.
You want it to be true.
Your confirmation bias.
Exactly. And that played a lot. I wish I could show you all the stuff I'd looked into about all that and how much money they've raised over or been given through the government over the last, now I guess it would be 7 or 8 years. I mean, it's in the it's way 20s of millions of dollars, and they were that was a it's funny because 1 week after the girls died, there was an article, and anybody who's in journalism knows when an article's floated on behalf of somebody, because of the way the narrative is. It's real narrow, it's real pointed, it's not bit to be questioned.
It's not a beat reporter getting facts. Yeah.
Exactly. There was an article about the Indiana Internet Crimes. I'll get cryptex to this too. Internet Crimes Against Children unit being underfunded and not being able to properly do their jobs right at the time. And I think, I really do, I think that they believed there was a digital component to this, or thought there was a good chance there was a digital component to this crime.
I think they thought that from the beginning.
Yeah, and with this, and with the amount of money that the funding, all things being equal, it's probably been a good thing for them. Okay, because the biggest murder case in Indiana state history gets the attention of a lot of funding, right?
Well, I was going to say, do you think that's why they attached Keegan Klein to the Abby and Libby tip line, so that they could get, that was a push towards that grant?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think it was all based on that. Okay. And it all had to do with what happened 2 years prior to the girls getting killed, and what happened with Brian Kill, aka Buster Hernandez, and being the most notorious sextortionist in the history of the world, and what he was doing, how he was sextorting 13, 14-year-old girls in Indiana,
Jesus
and he was had bomb threats. I mean, everything that happened in Delphi, the girls were killed exactly in the way he talked about killing young girls at that point. And they had no idea, because they were underfunded, who he was, where he was, and what he was. And he was terrorizing them on social media. The guy who ran that started out as the ISP's cyber group was a guy named Chuck Cohen. And he was toying with Cohen. He was basically, I mean, he was basically trolling him, because they knew he had a VPN. They couldn't penetrate it. They didn't know where he was. They were doing searches all over Indiana. He was sending in bomb threats for malls in different cities in Indiana. He was saying he was going to cut little girls' throats and their private parts. And so put yourself in those guys' shoes. They walk down the hill and they see two little girls. One of them has no clothes on, and their necks are cut. And they think to themselves, our worst nightmare might have just happened.
Yeah.
The guy who we have no clue who he is and where he is just finally did what he's been threatening to do. And then you throw on top of that, we get a bomb threat a couple of days or a day after or whatever. Now all of a sudden, the MO starts looking very similar. And I truly think that when the FBI, and the FBI was the one who did it, when they rolled into Peru heavy with a bunch of vehicles from Klein, when they went to search Klein's house, they'd never done that to any other suspects. Okay, they blocked off.
They thought he was him.
They thought they had the big fish. They thought, because the MO was identical. Both were sextorting young girls in Indiana. Both were using Dropbox to disseminate and procure the photographs, and they were doing it in the exact same way. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I don't know if there's some kind of network that those guys may have known each other, and and I think that's when they thought, we may have this guy. We may have the guy who has been, number one wanted guy on their list for the last 2 or 3 years, and they couldn't do shit about it. As a matter of fact, Facebook had to develop a software to penetrate the VPN to where they finally found out who he was and where he was. He had never even stepped foot in Indiana.
Was he the one in Alaska?
He was in California, in Bakersfield, California.
Fucking Bakersfield? Are you serious?
I'm serious. And he was man, he was a bad. I mean, a bad. You know what's funny is I found this video of the press conference where I'll get this cryptex. I found a press conference where they're talking about his arrest, okay, and the charges being brought up. It is the identical group of FBI and ISP guys that were investigating Delphi. It's Carter. It's Greg. What's the guy? The FBI guy named.
I should change my handle. Huh? I bet you they think I'm a fucking. My FBI agent thinks
Massa. He's involved. They talk, and the police chief of Plainview goes kind of off script in the middle of who he's talking about. He says, "Oh, and by the way, you people in Delphi, you're going to get your justice too. These guys are going to get it for you." And I'm like, why is he referencing that? Just out of the blue. Just out of the blue. And I'm like, and that's when it hit me. I was like, holy shit. Well, that's why they rolled in heavy. That's why they thought that Klein was Buster Hernandez. And I think that's probably why they lost him, when they realized, hey, it's not the guy. And because, I mean, there's no excuse for, just for 2 years of just completely, losing track, whatever they did. But I think when they realized they didn't have the big fish they wanted, because that's what the FBI wanted. That's more along the lines of, because he was doing things that were had a more of a national, I want to use the term nexus, but you know what I mean. It would be more reason for the FBI to have an interest in that part of the aspect of the case, as opposed to just it being in Delphi, local Delphi, all that kind of stuff.
Hey, you
And
guys,
so
I gotta hold on a second. I got a horse with mastitis, so give me 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
We'll give you four.
okay.
Okay. Okay.
4, 3, 2, 1. But Skip,
Hey,
uh,
bud.
when you talk about that, Keegan Klein being like free for almost 3 years. One of my theories here. I understand your point about Buster Hernandez,
Mhm.
and that's great. I love that theory, by the way. But
Thank you.
I think that Keegan Klein, he could be like an informant or an informer for law enforcement in the Delphi's case, and that's why maybe they didn't.
Oh, he definitely could be. That he would be
Yeah,
a prime candidate for something like that. Yeah, you know,
sure.
especially if they thought he was in some kind of a network and and he thought, hey, he talked to a lot of the young gals around town, in those areas, and whether it be Peru or Logansport or Delphi
I'm
or
back.
2 minutes. You were so
I know
fast.
it was already taken care of. Like people, I didn't even know it was happening. So that's it's not my. It's one of the borders. So she has
Well,
mastitis. They gave her my boyfriend is paramedic, so he gave her some antibiotics and stuff. So she's fine.
yeah.
welcome back.
I tell you what, one of the things Cryptex, what was significant about how I heard about the FBI's presence there was the brother of the um, Miami County prosecutor, and I became friends over the course of time during the case. And he told me, he said his brother was mad. He's like, they just came in, rolled in town, shut down a primary thoroughfare where, near where he lived, and didn't contact him. Maybe some of that was a little bit of whatever, but he was like, hey, I could have, he said, I could have arranged things where it made me, but they were eager apparently to get over there. That's why there were like 20 black Tahoes or Yukons or whatever blocking off a main thoroughfare in Peru, and they thought they had something. It may not. I don't. They definitely thought they had something.
Yeah. What do you think about? I don't know. When I try to wrap up this whole case, I know it's not easy to wrap it up, but for sure. But I think like the holy grail here is the Dropbox of the Anthony Schultz account.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
What
think
do you
there
think
is.
about Flint Farmer?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if
I
you,
don't
I
know.
mean, one of the things that always comes back to me is everything started when Flint Farmer was arrested and started talking. They found Karina, and then they started the river search, and then Rick Allen was arrested. I think Flint Farmer Flint Farmer obviously knew people in Peru because he's like throwing bodies there. So, um, maybe Flint Farmer gave him like just to get. I mean, if you look at what happened with Flint Farmer, it worked out well for him. You know what I mean? He
What
gave
time
them
was he
all the
arrested?
information they wanted, and then they charged him wrong, and he was acquitted. The prosecutor purposely charged him with the wrong charges, so he couldn't be convicted. He was acquitted. They got everything they wanted out of him, and he's walking free. And he killed a little girl, and her family was looking for her for years. You know what I mean? And he fucking walked.
What
So I
time?
mean, that's always been interesting to me too.
No, it's interesting. What time was he arrested? What date?
Like weeks before, okay, so the river search started in August. So I think he was arrested like in July. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but it was like right after that everything started moving really fast. They
Yeah.
found Karina and they started the river search, and then Rick Allen was arrested.
I understand your point, and let's say that it was 1 week before the start of the Wabash River search, but what is really crazy here is that the river search, the search started one day after the interrogation of Keegan Klein at the Grissom Air Force Base.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Like there was like a series
that
of
was a
events.
direct consequence of that interrogation.
Yeah.
There was a series of events that happened, and the only person in those series of events who walked was Flint Farmer.
That's interesting. You know, I think Klein. I think at one point they thought they were going to be able to make an arrest and get an indictment there. I really do. And it may have been part of it. May have been once they realized, oh shit, we don't, or we're not going to be able, we don't have the kind of evidence that we need to be able to get a conviction on this guy. Again, these guys have panicked before, and I think they haven't handled things very well. And I think that was probably part of it. They realized that, oh shit, the guy we thought we had, we let this investigation play out in public. Everybody would have been on board that, hey, this is the guy. He was talking to him, he lured him there. Somebody, whether it was him or whoever, somebody killed him. And I don't think that would have been a hard story to sell. It wouldn't have been a hard story to sell at all. But you still have to have the evidence has to be. And I think when they realized or didn't get the okay that the evidence was there, that there was a panic. Just
I
like what
think
happened.
I
also
believe
I think the reward money was a huge part of it too. Like they didn't want the reward. They didn't want someone solving the case that was going to get that reward money that they didn't like. So it went to Kathy Shank, and because I don't think it was there. I think they fucking spent that shit.
I mean, yeah.
And then
I
Well,
so
really
Kathy Shank gets the award and shoot. And I mean, here's what makes me think this.
it wouldn't
Okay,
surprise me at all.
but think about the series of events. Kathy Shank solves the case. She gets the reward. She dedicates the money and gives it back to the Abby and Livy Park. And like 2 weeks later, Mike Patty is begging for $30,000 for a new sign. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You just got $250,000. Like, why can't you buy the sign with that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it
Yep.
makes me think that the reward money was gone a long time ago. I think that's because Mike Patty was in charge of that reward money. And I think that investigation was running low on funds. And I think remember Mike Patty said, "You owe me."
Yep. Yep. I do.
I think that's what he's fucking talking
Look,
about is that reward money.
if anybody doesn't think these guys weren't feeling pressure in the heat of what was of solving this case, then they're out of their minds. They were
Liggett was not
one,
going to win that
one,
election.
yeah, 100%. They were feeling it, and look, whether you're a good guy, bad guy, whatever, people do bad shit because of situations like that, and I haven't seen very many redeeming values in any of these damn guys, redeeming qualities in any of these damn guys. But so it's easy for somebody like that to make a choice that's, hey, we just got to get somebody arrested, and that look, and again, that's part of how you get when your witness describes the 20-year-old guy on the bridge.
The Pickard, I think it was Picard, the new sheriff. Dude, if that dude would have won, everyone was fucked. Mullins is fucked. Lesenby's fucked. Liggett's fucked. Like fucking everybody's fucked. McClellan is
Yeah.
fucked. Ives is fucked. Like Fouts is fucked. Like everybody's fucked. So that dude cannot become sheriff. And that was
Right.
like they have this river search that everybody's fucking watching. It's all over the news. And then they don't have anything. They've got an election, and this guy wants to bring in the FBI and like sniff their cemetery, and they do not want that. So they found someone, and since he was from Peru, it sounded true, so they nailed him for it.
Yeah, it's just look the whole once the lying started and the cover up started, it just spun so out of control because once that starts, that has to continue. You can't just say, oh, hey, we've been covering shit up for the last 2 years, but we're gonna start telling you the truth.
Yeah.
that has to continue, right? And so, I mean, they were even lying stuff about the reason the GBI was brought in. I found out what really happened with that, and they even lied about that. I mean, why? There was no peer review. I talked to a guy at the GBI, and he was like, I said, what kind of peer review? He's like, what? And I was like, a peer. He said, do you know how much that would have cost them for us to take guys off our to look in to the Delphi case?
Yeah.
He said sometimes agencies and more like the FBI will do peer reviews with amongst themselves because we're a private entity. We're not part of the state of Georgia. We couldn't even be a partnership with Indiana. For us to leave Georgia and go to Indiana, it would cost them a fortune. But he said, but I will tell you this. He said, I can't tell you what we did, but we did some forensics for them. And when I learned that, I was like, well, if they had the FBI, why would they bring in the GBI to do forensics? He made a mistake when he was telling me something, and I think I know what they were doing, what part of forensics. Not 100%. He didn't say it, but he just kind of let some slip. But why would the FBI not have the expertise to do? I mean, do latent fingerprint.
I don't think they wanted the FBI to solve the case.
I don't think they did either.
Lesenby wanted to like fucking be the hometown hero.
I agree. I don't think they wanted the FBI's presence in there at all because they were.
Well, I mean, it was also the FBI had the Joint Terrorism Task Force. You know what I mean? And nobody wants to think that they've got I mean, and you have to understand. Okay, so you have Joint Terrorism Task Force. You have Vinlanders. You have a controversial election that just happened. The political environment was like a powder keg, and you've got your ex-governor is now the vice president, which you know what I mean? Like during that time, the political aspect, I mean, we don't talk about it because it's not polite to talk politics in mixed company, but like 4 little black girls were killed a week after Donald Trump was elected. I mean,
right.
I don't want to like call politics is toxic, but like there is an elephant in the room here. You know what I mean? And I think that that's a huge part of why the FBI was not welcome because of the political elephant in the room.
Yeah, and that doesn't exactly make a community look.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Indiana's history with the Klan, especially with Carroll County's history with the Klan.
Right.
They don't fucking want that. Look at what in the 1920s. Look at what the Klan did to that state. You know what I mean? Like it fucking buried it, and it took them decades to get out of it. You know what I mean? As politically, you know what I mean? So they don't want that can of worms, and they definitely with the Odinism, they didn't want a fucking West Memphis 3. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Look, man. Look, I don't know jack shit about Flora, so I'd be speaking out of turn talking about it all. But 4 young little black kids, African American children,
Birmingham
died.
Birmingham.
Whether race played a part in it or not, the optics are awful.
I mean, for me, the first fucking thing I thought of when I heard that was Birmingham, Alabama. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
That's where I grew up.
I mean, I'm a fucking liberal from California, and Newsom is, daddy. So that was the first fucking thing I thought of. You know what I mean? But like, you're not allowed to say that because social standards of mixed company. So, I mean, I've never really come right out and been like, this is all because Trump got elected and no one wanted that fucking shit grenade in their town. You know what I mean?
Well, and people want to pretend like, well, I love when people say, oh, we've evolved. We've evolved to what?
No, they have. Okay.
Humans haven't evolved to jack shit.
Do you want to know how I know they haven't? Let me tell you, this is how I know. Noe. So back when Noe very first came on the scene, someone called him from a phone number, and he on like a live stream called the number back, and it was the wrong number. It wasn't the dude. It was just random fucking dude, and he was from Indiana, and he was a pastor. And within like 2 minutes of the conversation, this pastor started talking shit to Noe about his accent.
Right.
You know, like, you know what I mean? The first fucking thing he went to was like, I think he called him a wetback or something. A pastor. A
Yeah.
pastor.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was when I was like, yeah, no, that's not. They're still pretty, you know,
Oh, some of that
in
stuff
history.
is some of that stuff's so inbred and so entrenched in them that they don't. I don't even know that they realize.
They
Like
don't.
I hear people. I grew up in Birmingham. Okay, so it's something we're not very proud of.
Yeah.
I haven't lived there in 26 years, but I grew up there. Went to high school there. Went to college at Auburn, which is not very far from there, and so I know the attitudes that people have. A lot of people do, and they say stuff like, we'll start talking about somebody's heritage, and it'll be the most racist thing you've ever heard, but they think they're just being very matter of fact. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know that you know those
Yeah.
people. You know, and you're like, you
Yeah,
realize what
exactly.
you realize what you're saying, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you're saying
I'm from Los Angeles, so I can't even imagine a world where there isn't everything around me. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
But I mean, but I also lived in a small town in Oklahoma, and I was a bartender, and I like remember, you know, I was picked up a afternoon shift, and the bar was pretty much empty, but there was 3 old dudes in there drinking, and I'm like listening to their conversations, and they were talking about Hispanics and Muslims, and I'm thinking in my head, I've been here for a good 6 months, and I've never seen a Mexican or a Muslim. So how the fuck do you even know? You know what I mean?
Right,
How,
right.
you know what I mean?
I know.
Like, and I remember saying to them, I lived in an apartment, and my next door neighbors were Muslim, and they were lovely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And that like rocked their fucking world. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's like, yeah, like I said, they'll they'll say things like, well, you know, their beliefs and they do, you know, it's
With
like
those people,
it's like,
when you
hold
know
on.
how they are,
Right,
yeah.
right, and that's just their culture, and
Yeah.
I'm like, and it's been said in a negative, you know, connotation. It's like, you know, are you saying that because is it making you feel better because you're saying it kind of as a matter of fact when it's when you actually all you're doing is just being ultra racist? I mean, or you know, ultra being a huge big. I mean, because that's all it is, you know. Because you're not saying that.
When it's matter of fact to me, it makes it more racist. Like I was in the military,
me too, yeah,
and
yeah.
like you know, the military is the most racist, but like all in good fun. No one's
Right.
insulting anyone. And if you catch someone being blatantly racist, you're like, that's my fucking battle buddy. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right, exactly.
yeah. So, but I mean, I probably even shouldn't say this on a public channel, but I remember one time we were in a meeting and the lights were off because there was a slideshow, and someone came in to give one of our African Americans a note, and they couldn't find him. And one of the dudes was like, "Hey, Lamore, smile." And it was
That's
funny.
terrible.
Everyone
Yeah,
laughed,
yeah,
but you couldn't
yeah.
get away with that in civilian world. You know what
No,
I mean?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Everyone in that room would have been fucking fired.
Yeah, let's see your white tee. Yeah, I know. That's.
But he even laughed. That motherfucker even laughed. You know what I mean?
Well, he's in a situation where it's kind of like, he probably knew it wasn't just.
It's not mean.
It wasn't mean spirited.
When
was
you say
meant
it
to be
matter of
funny.
fact,
Yeah.
and you start using words like those people, that's when it becomes a fucking problem.
Exactly. When you got a history with somebody and you can play with them, make fun, and they make fun of you back, that's one thing. That's a totally different thing. But when somebody's making first of all, they're making an
sweeping statement.
and it's an uneducated statement. It's it's like almost like, I want to say, would you read that in USA Today or something a couple of days ago or some shit?
Yeah.
But it's very it's very to the you know, it explains why,
like some Daughters of the Confederacy shit.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's people and they think they're doing it like in a, oh well, I'm not a bigot, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like somebody, hey, I'll preface this by saying that I'm not racist at all, but I can't stand all those whatever, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
well, hold
I
on,
remember
hold
once
on,
I talked to this
hold on.
lady who was a racist. Like, she was just so fucking racist in Oklahoma. And she came in and she was so proud. And she came and she goes, I'm going to because she came to tell me, she's like, I'm going to Los Angeles. And I told her, I
Did you
go,
say don't open your mouth when you?
no, I said, make sure you wear your pearls so you have something to clutch.
Yeah, exactly. That's good. Yeah.
So,
Hey, I've got to bail. I don't mean to bail on you guys.
no, my boyfriend just came in here and was all like, how long are you going to be on the phone? The horse has
Yeah,
mastitis.
yeah. I don't have a boyfriend, girlfriend either, but
But skip.
I do need, and look, but I appreciate the invite. It's great, great seeing you. What should I just call you, Bakersfield?
I mean, at this point, I'm almost
Or
afraid,
Streets?
but yeah, go ahead. You can call me Streets. Call me Streets. That's
I'll
what
call you
Amy calls
Streets.
me.
Okay, all right. It was great. It was great getting to spend some time with Streets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been like boats passing each other in the night for a long time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Admire from afar, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've
what
been
I
watching
have,
you
yeah.
for a minute. Yeah.
Hey,
God,
skip.
I've definitely been around for a minute. Holy shit!
Yeah,
I know that.
I remember when you came on the scene, and it was before COVID. Anybody who's been here pre-COVID is an OG.
Yep, that came in right exactly. I came in right before it was.
Yeah.
And next thing I knew, I was on some damn podcast and did not knowing what the hell I was doing, and I was public enemy number one. But that was
Yeah.
that was then. This is now. So, but
Hiawatha!
I appreciate. I really enjoyed it, and y'all have a good night. And obviously, if you need to, if you want to see anything, just ask Cryptex and I'll get him the stuff, or he can get you my information, contact information, or any of that, whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay, sounds
Okay.
good. It's so good.
Skip. Wait a second.
Yeah.
I wanted to please you with a song.
You
Oh,
gotta
okay.
listen to a song first.
Okay.
That's
All right,
what
let's
you
hear it.
came here for.
Let's do it.
So what's the song?
This is what you came for.
It is. I don't know what it's going to be. What is it going to be?
Sweet Home Alabama. I'm sure you can find plenty of covers for that.
Come on, Skip.
I'm just joking.
Shake your ass. Come on. From your heart. A song that you really love. Come on.
Country roads, take me home to play. I found out my biological grandfather was born in West Virginia, so now I love me some country road. Oh,
I can
West
see that.
Virginia.
I can see that.
I mean, he ran away from home when he was very young and ended up in Seattle. But apparently he was born in West Virginia. And I was like, fuck yeah, country roads. He was I don't know if you guys know about this, Eleanor Roosevelt in some of those like West Virginia, Kentucky coal mine town. Like she started almost like a city, like a town. And like it was run by the government and they like took care of the coal miners. My grandpa grew up in one of those and he ran away when he was like 13. Got on a train and ended up in Seattle.
So you know what should we do? I know you like country music, and we are like in the 90s decade, let's say. So what about you're gonna like this? I don't know if you know this cover from Nine Inch Nails.
Oh,
Is from
is it Hurt?
Yeah. What's the guy?
Dude, Hurt from Trent Reznor. But when Johnny Cash did it,
Johnny Cash, exactly.
that was if anybody was gonna do that song, it had to be Johnny Cash.
Sorry. sorry. Give me 1 second here, guys.
I met Trent Reznor when he lived in the
What?
Manson house.
No,
I
no,
did.
no,
I
no,
went
no.
to his when he lived in the Manson house with Marilyn Manson before Marilyn Manson was Marilyn Manson.
You met him?
I went to a Halloween party there when I was like, fuck, how old was I? I was young. I should not have been out and about. I was like
What?
14 or 15 years old. And my friend's older sister had a car and we went out to the Hollywood Hills for like a bunch of Halloween parties and we ended up there. It was fucking
Are you,
scary though. I didn't like it.
are you serious?
And then they tore down the house like right after that. It was like Halloween of 94 and they tore no 93 and they tore it down in like 94.
Do you have pictures about that
Dude, it
song?
was the 90s. No one had a fucking camera. That's what I'm grateful for. I did all my stupid shit before social media.
Oh man. So you know
If
what?
they would have had social media when I was a teenager, I would never be employable.
So you know what, Streets? Let's end the live tonight with that song.
Okay.
And it was a pleasure to have you here. And let's stay in touch.
For sure. I liked it. I like coming on with you. I like it that it's smaller so you don't have to be like someone's gonna suck the air out of this. Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna play this song, and that's gonna be the end of the live tonight. Thank you again. See you soon.
Okay, okay.
Myself today to see if I still feel I focus on the pain, the only thing that's real. The needle tears a hole, your familiar sting. Try to kill it all away, but I remember everything. I will let you down. I will make you hurt. I wear this crown of shit upon my liar's chin, full of broken thoughts I cannot repair. Beneath the stains of time, the feeling disappears. You are someone else. I am still right here.
That's it. Thank you guys for being here. Last round of bye-bye. Farmer, cool to have you here tonight. Hi, Wata. You were late, but you can catch the reply. Hit the like, guys. Let me see. Anna, of course. Thank you so much for being here. Anna Lisette. Skip, VIP guest tonight. Of course, Streets of Bakersfield. Free Ricky Bay. Cool to have you here tonight, as usual. Don't dox me, for sure. Awesome viewer tonight. So all of you guys, Sunflower, Pink Quartz, Post-Punk Mama. So cool to have you here, guys. It was really nice. So, Candy, all of you, a lot of people. Thanks, guys. If you are late here, please catch the replay and see you tomorrow, maybe. And I'm on vacations. I'm going to Colombia. So during the next 2 weeks, I'm going to stream from South America. Don't miss that type of streamings, guys. So see ya. Ciao. Bye.